Senior Superintendent of Police of Riasi, Mohita Sharma, identified the arrested terrorist associate as 45-year-old Hakam Din. She stated that this person was involved in harboring the terrorists multiple times. She also said that along with providing food and shelter, and that he has also acted as a guide and helped them reach the spot of the incident. And viewers, we're now tracking the top business stories for the day. We delve into details of surge in demand of air conditioners. Stay tuned as we delve into the key highlights shaping the business world today. Air conditioning manufacturers in India are witnessing a surge in demand driven by an intense and persistent heat wave affecting much of the country. To meet this heightened demand, companies are airlifting crucial components such as compressors, cross-flow fans or motors, and PCB circuits. Industry sources report that this increased demand has resulted in record sales of air conditioners across the country. To maintain production amid supply challenges, manufacturers are importing components via air freight from global suppliers in countries like China, Taiwan, Thailand, Malaysia, and Japan. Reflecting rising costs of materials such as copper and aluminium, some manufacturers have implemented price increases of 4 to 5%. The surge in air conditioner sales coincides with a significant spike in electricity consumption during peak heat wave conditions. And according to officials from the State Load Dispatch Center, on Wednesday afternoon, peak power demand in Delhi reached an all-time high of 8,656 megawatt. This peak demand followed closely behind Tuesday's record of 8,647 megawatt, marking the second highest peak of the summer season. And moving on now to our international segment, where we are now tracking the top international stories for the day, starting with the Russian President Vladimir Putin's departure from North Korea after signing a strategic mutual aid agreement with Kim Jong-un. We delve into the details of these events causing tensions across the Israel-Gaza border as well with the ongoing Israeli attacks. Stay tuned as we unravel now the latest updates from the global landscape. Cyril Ramaphosa was sworn in for a second term as South Africa's president in a ceremony in the administrative capital, Pretoria. Ramaphosa is now preparing to appoint a cabinet in this new coalition government, which is the first of its kind, where no single party holds a majority. The oath of office was administered to Ramaphosa in a public ceremony at the Union Buildings, the seat of government, by Chief Justice Raymond Zondo. Leaders including President Felix Tshisekedi of the Democratic Republic of Congo, President Nangolo Mbumba of Namibia, former South African President Thabo Mbeki, and others have arrived to witness the swearing-in ceremony of the South African president.
I, Matamela Cyril Ramaphosa, swear that I will be faithful to the Republic of South Africa, so help me God.
The voters of South Africa did not give any single political party the full mandate to govern our country alone. They have directed us to work together to address their plight and realize their aspirations. This is a new tide that heralds progress, transformation, and deep fundamental change. We look to this rising tide with.
And celebrations were held after the oath-taking ceremony of the South African president. Supporters stated that they support the government of national unity because they expect to see changes in the country. For many years, the ANC has governed alone, but they decided to re-elect him with the help of a coalition of parties to bring about change.
Ideologically, we're not the same. But now, when it comes to governance, governance is governance. Service delivery is service delivery. So let's focus on that. Go back to our people, because our people need service delivery at the end of the day. So hence, this GNU is something new. We'll see. We'll see. Others didn't come to the table. We'll see.
And Russian President Vladimir Putin departed from North Korea for his next stop in Vietnam. During the visit, Putin and Kim signed an agreement pledging mutual aid if either country faces aggression, a strategic pact amid escalating standoffs with the West. Details of the deal were not immediately clear, but it could signify the strongest connection between Moscow and Pyongyang since the end of the Cold War. Both leaders described the visit as a significant upgrade of their relations, encompassing security, trade, investment, cultural and humanitarian ties. Russian President Vladimir Putin also arrived in Vietnam for an official visit. This is Putin's first visit to the Southeast Asian country since 2017 and his fifth overall. He plans to meet Vietnam's top leader, Communist Party Secretary General Nguyen Phu Trong, as well as the new president To Lam and other politicians during his two-day stay. Up next, thick smoke was seen rising over the southern Lebanese town of Odessa as Israel responded to Hezbollah attacks with strikes. The Israeli military reported that two Hezbollah launchers damaged several vehicles in northern Israel. Their Iron Dome defense system successfully intercepted missiles over Odessa and Mesgav Am in northern Israel. Hezbollah stated that at least 3 of its fighters were killed in Israeli attacks. Hezbollah's leader Hassan Nasrallah stated that they now have better intelligence capabilities to target more important positions deeper inside Israel if there's a regional war. His remarks come as tensions escalate between Hezbollah and Israel following months of conflict. They also follow a visit by senior US diplomat aiming to calm the situation. Hezbollah recently used homemade drones armed with explosives for the first time since the Gaza conflict started in October, as they've also deployed surface-to-air missiles against Israeli aircraft. And as Israel's attack on the enclave continued, objects were seen falling in open areas of the Israel-Gaza border, followed by rising plumes of smoke. Meanwhile, Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant and Israeli Army Chief of Staff Herzi Halevi held a situation assessment meeting at the Israeli Army's Northern Command. Coming up next, viewers, we have stories from the action-packed world of sports and entertainment. Sit back and we'll be right back with you after this quick break.
I understand that there is an agreement to observe a moment of silence in memory of Hardeep Singh Nijjar, assassinated in Surrey, British Columbia, 1 year ago today. I now invite honourable members to rise.
Of sports with a segment dedicated to all the action-packed highlights and exciting matchups. Alexander Zverev, the second seed and crowd favorite, has advanced to the quarterfinals of the Harley Championship after a hard-fought win over Italy's Lorenzo Sonego. Meanwhile, in Antigua, South Africa secured an 18-run victory over the United States in their opening match of the Super 8th phase of the T20 World Cup. Keep listening to all the buzz right here on our sports segment. Alexander Zverev seeded second and the crowd favorite progressed to the quarterfinals of the Harley Championship. On Wednesday, now despite a competitive match against Italy's Lorenzo Sonego, Zverev clinched victory in straight sets. He narrowly secured the first set 6-4 and faced a tiebreaker in the second, where his powerful ground strokes secured a 7-5 win. His next opponent will be Frenchman Arthur Fils. South Africa faced a tough challenge to secure an 18-run victory over the United States in their opening match of the Super 8s phase at the T20 World Cup in Antigua on Wednesday. Andre Goose, playing against his country of birth, led the US with an unbeaten 80 of 47 balls, moving to the top of the batting charts. However, South Africa managed to restrict the Americans to 176 for 6. Pace bowler Kagiso Rabada claimed figures of 3 for 18, while spinner Keshav Maharaj took the crucial wicket of US captain Aaron Jones for a duck, ending with 1 for 24. Now, Quinton de Kock starred earlier with a magnificent 74 of 40 balls, supported by Henrik Klaasen's unbeaten 36 of 22 balls, guiding South Africa to a total of 194 for 4. Now, the US captain Jones had won the toss and opted to field. Despite winning all the 4 matches in the group stage, South Africa had struggled in the power play throughout the tournament, managing a highest score of 38 runs in their first 6 overs against Nepal. Denmark needs a win ahead of their matches against England and Serbia in Group C. They renewed their rivalry with England, recalling their Euro 2020 semi-final clash where England won 2-1 after extra time. Harry Kane scored the decisive goal after his penalty was saved by Kasper Schmeichel but rebounded to him. The controversial penalty against Joachim Mahele was a key moment in the game. The teams are familiar with each other, having players from Manchester United, Crystal Palace and Brentford on both sides. And riding the buzz, it's time now to delve into the world of entertainment. In Canberra, Priyanka Chopra sustained an injury while filming a stunt for her upcoming project, The Bluff. Over in the UK, Prince William and Queen Camilla attended royal escort in the palace of King Charles III, who will join later due to health reasons. This and more as we unravel the latest updates from the entertainment industries this morning. And as the Renukaswamy murder case unfolds, the fan clubs of Darshan are now under police scrutiny as investigations intensify. Actor Darshan, along with his friend Pavitra Gowda and 15 others, have been arrested. Renukaswamy, a fan of the actor from Chitradurga, was allegedly abducted by a key club member and associates to Bangalore, where he was reportedly tortured and murdered. A police officer stated that the role of his fan clubs is highly suspicious, especially in the light of this case. As Priyanka Chopra is wrapped up in her busy schedule for her next project, The Bluff in Australia, she shared an image on social media displaying an injury. The image showed a cut sustained while filming a stunt scene. Alongside the photo, she captioned it, "This is the professional hazard of my job." Prince William substituted for his father, King Charles III, at Royal Escort's second day, accompanying Queen Camilla in the royal procession. The king will attend the final 3 days of the event to support his horses and their trainers. King Charles III and Princess Kate were absent from today's annual racing event due to reduced responsibilities related to their health. And Naomi Campbell celebrates her glittering 40-year career by showcasing outfits from her personal collection. She's the first supermodel to have her own fashion exhibition, honoring designers like Westwood, Versace and Alexander McQueen. The exhibition features many dresses she wore on runways, for photo shoots and at special events. Tunisian-born designer Azadine Alaya is highlighted in one part of the exhibit. Campbell is also known for supporting emerging fashion talents like Kenneth Ives and Tori Sheju Dumi, both of whom have their designs featured in the exhibition. And in fashion, features over 100 pieces of haute couture and ready-to-wear worn by the supermodels by brands including Versace, Dolce & Gabbana and Alexander McQueen. A section of the show is dedicated to work on Azadine Alaya. With that, viewers, it's time for a wrap on this bulletin. Stay tuned and we'll be bringing you more news and updates from across the country and around the world.
After 40 years in Naomi Campbell's career in fashion and style, this marks as a major milestone as she becomes the first supermodel to have her own solo fashion exhibition. Loaned outfits from her private collection are on display at London's Victoria and Albert Museum.
This is the first major exhibition to look at the individual career of a supermodel through fashion, so we're really excited to be opening it. So it looks at the supermodel Naomi Campbell and her 40-year career in the business. So highlights include things like Yves Saint Laurent dress from 1987, made of white fluffy bird of paradise feathers, the incredible mock croc blue Vivienne Westwood shoes that she famously tumbled on in the catwalk in 1993, and then also kind of fashion photography will be throughout the show, and an installation curated by Edward Endenful.
Campbell's connection with big names like Westwood, Gianni Versace and Alexander McQueen are also commemorated in this exhibition.
So there's a specific section in the exhibition looking at Azzedine Alaïa, who was a Paris-based Tunisian-born designer, and he's of huge importance to Naomi. So she met him in 1986 when she was in Paris, and they fostered a really wonderful personal and professional relationship. His clothes, there's so many of them in her wardrobe, so many of those are on display, including a wonderful leopard bodysuit, which was famously photographed by Herb Ritts in 1991.
The exhibition features a unique leopard print bodysuit she wore for a shoot with Herb Ritts in 1991. There are also displays of fashion talents of Kenneth Easy and Doresheju Dumi. A display of her wearing Dolce & Gabbana gown and stiletto sandals is included.
It's been wonderful. Naomi's been around this week kind of looking at the exhibition, and it's been great to see her kind of look around, reflect on her career, and every time we look at another garment there's another story which comes out about how she wore it or the design or how it was styled, which has been really great.
What is also on display are the two outfits where the Streatham-born supermodel brought her trademark style to less than stylish moments.
We have accessed some exclusive pictures of this palace called the Rushikonda Palace. We will dig deeper on the story of the palace that Jagan built. Republic cameras went inside the super luxury, 7-star luxury resort type residence. A construction so lavish that it will embarrass even French kings to use. Spas in every bathroom, jacuzzis, washrooms that are larger than a 5-bedroom apartment. Can you believe it? This palace cost at least 10 times more than Kejriwal's palace. Remember Kejriwal's palace, Sheesh Mahal, also built on taxpayer money, and this palace like that, a testament to the arrogance and greed of such politicians.
另外，我们也感谢美国，进行对台军售啊。除了美国对台军售以外，其实美国的政府跟国会对台湾的支持，维护台海和平稳定做得更多了。
Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
And viewers, we are live this morning. I'm Shivangi Shukla, getting you the latest coming in. Samiksha, this is a very big story coming in. It looks like the UGC-NET exam has now been cancelled. This is, of course, being, some people are a little unsure whether it's NEET or NET. It's UGC-NET exam. It was conducted by the same agency, NTA, which was conducting the NEET exam. And this is a very big story that's coming in. We'll be following the story very closely.
Well, absolutely, Shivangi. So, NET UGC exam getting cancelled. This in the backdrop of the irregularities being probed when it comes to that NEET exam as well. So, yes, fate of 9 lakh students, Shivangi, has been affected when it comes to the NEET UGC exam, which happens twice every year, which is in the month of June and December. But first, Shivangi, let's begin with the headlines.
American Pistachio presents cracking news of the hour.
Centre cancels UGC-NET following reports of exam integrity being compromised.
Centre clears a big MSP boost for Kharif crops, hikes Kharif MSP by 5 to 12.7%.
Autopsy reveals chilling details of Renukaswamy murder. He was beaten till his flesh scrapped off and he died due to hemorrhage.
Shocking cases emerge from finger and ice cream to mouse and chocolate syrup customers. Safety is it being put up at stake, and is the customer's safety at risk?
J&K police make breakthrough in Riasi terror attack, arrest logistics provider. Let's start off with the top focus story then. It is the cancellation of the NET exam. The Education Ministry has cancelled the exam following indications that the integrity of the exam was compromised. In fact, a new date for the examination is yet to be announced by the ministry. The decision note comes amid the bid to ensure the highest level of transparency and sanctity in the examination process. In fact, note the National Testing Agency had conducted the exam on 18th of June in pen and paper mode across different states. Shubhang.
However, on June 19, the University Grants Commission received inputs from the National Cybercrime Threat Analytics Unit of the Indian Cybercrime Coordination Center under the Ministry of Home Affairs. These inputs suggest that the exam's integrity might have been compromised. In response, the Ministry of Education has decided to cancel the exam and conduct a fresh one. The matter has been handed over to the Central Bureau of Investigation for a thorough investigation in this case.
Well, absolutely. Additionally, the SFI Delhi State Committee will also hold a protest against the cancellation at the Ministry of Education at 2 p.m. So, yes, showdown is expected. But that being said, Shivangi, the fate of 9 lakh students hangs in the balance. Let's go across to Riyanka, who's joining us with the details on that. Riyanka, to begin with, explain to us why has the exam been cancelled and the kind of probe that's been initiated by the Central Bureau of Investigation into the alleged irregularities.
Right, see, let's first clear the air. It is not the NEET examination that has been cancelled. It is the UGC-NET examinations that has been called off now. The examinations were held on the 18th of June, and on the 19th, the centre had received certain inputs from the Cybercrime Threats Analytics Unit regarding certain, issues during the examinations that would affect the integrity of these exams. which is why the centre has taken this particular step of cancelling these examinations. Now remember, this examination cancellation of the UGC-NET comes at a time when there is a massive furor amongst the students regarding the UG-NET examinations, regarding the conduction and declaration of its results and alleged malpractices and irregularities during these examinations. And now what we see in terms of the UGC-NET, the government has said that the examinations will be reconvened. It will be held once again for the students because there were some defaults that were found during the conduction of the examination, but the date has not yet been finalized. It will be announced. On the other hand, if we talk about the protest that will be held in the national capital today, the JNUSU and the SFI, both of these student unions will be holding a massive protest today at the Shastri Bhavan regarding all these issues that have been currently found, and NTA finds itself into a position of setback. Now it is yet to be seen whether the NTA will go ahead and cancel or reconduct the NEET examinations. That is the big question, which is why all of these issues have been currently dealt with. The government is very clear. It has told the NTA that if there has been any irregularities found on the part of the NTA in terms of the NEET examinations, then strict action must be taken. It has also asked, certain details from what irregularities happened at the Bihar unit regarding the release of, regarding the leak of the, question papers, and also in terms of the grace marking that has been taken care of. So all these deliberations are being taken place. We have to wait and see what happens next in regards of the NEET exams. But for now, the UGC-NET stands cancelled.
All right. Thank you, Riyanka, for getting us all the details. We'll keep a very close eye on the story. So this is a very big update coming in. And to clarify to our viewers, this is the UGC-NET exam and not the NEET exam, which that matters also at the Supreme Court. Let's move ahead, viewers, to the other stories we're tracking. A big MSP boost for farmers. The government has raised minimum support price for paddy by 5.35%, increasing it to rupees 117 to 2,300 per quintal for 2024-25 Kharif marketing season. Now, despite having surplus rice stocks, this hike is striking as it comes ahead of elections in states like Haryana, Maharashtra, Jharkhand and Delhi. Information Broadcasting Minister Ashwani Vaishnav announced that the cabinet approved the MSP for 14 Kharif crops based on recommendations from the Commission for Agricultural Costs and Prices.
Well, absolutely, Shivangi. So indeed, very good news for the farmers across the country. But let's tell our viewers in bullet points what this means. MSP has been hiked for 14 Kharif crops. MSP for paddy has been hiked by 117 rupees per quintal. MSP for pulses has been hiked by 550 rupees per quintal. In fact, let's once again listen into that statement that's coming from the government on the MSP hike for the farmers.
In today's cabinet also, one very important decision has been taken regarding the welfare of farmers. खरीफ सीजन स्टार्ट हो रहा है. खरीफ सीजन के लिए 14 क्रॉप्स पे मिनिमम सपोर्ट प्राइस आज कैबिनेट ने अप्रूव किया है. मैं इन प्राइसेस के बारे में पढ़ूंगा, उससे पहले आई विल गिव द कॉन्टेक्स्ट. इन द 2018 यूनियन बजट, the government of India had given a very clear policy decision, had taken a very clear policy decision that MSP कम से कम 1.5 गुना होनी चाहिए कॉस्ट की. It has to be at least 1.5 times the cost of production. तो आज के जो फैसले आप देखेंगे, इन सब फैसलों में इस प्रिंसिपल को ध्यान रखा गया है. Every crop that I am going to read out will have at least 50% more MSP compared to the cost. और कॉस्ट को निकालने का भी बहुत ही साइंटिफिक तरीका है. इसका एक मैकेनिज्म है. CACP के द्वारा देश भर में कई तहसीलों में, कई जिलों में, कई विलेजेस में जाके स्टडी किया जाता है. कॉस्ट ऑफ प्रोडक्शन सारे फैक्टर्स को लेके स्टडी किया जाता है. तो इसके आधार पर आज जो MSP डिक्लेयर हुई है वो है धान। सबसे पहले धान का नया MSP, पैडी का नया MSP खरीफ के लिए 2,300 रुपीज डिक्लेयर किया गया है, which is 117 rupees increment over the previous MSP. आप इसको 2,300 को अगर आप कॉन्टेक्स्ट में देखना चाहोगे, दैट इज अगर 2013-14 का जो प्राइस था, दैट प्राइस वाज 1,310 रुपीज, 1,310. यानी कहाँ 1,310 था और कहाँ आज 2,300 है. किस तरह से किसान भाइयों के लिए, किसान परिवारों के लिए प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी और सरकार का हमेशा एक स्पेशल फोकस रहता है, ये इसको दर्शाता है.
All right, so Ashwini, Vaishnav giving us a breakdown of the hike in MSP prices. Let's go across to Gopi. She's, excuse me, she's joining us with more details on that. Gopi, in bullet points, if you can tell us how are the farmer groups responding to the hike in MSP prices, one, and how is the government essentially planning to bear the additional cost when it comes to the hike in MSP prices?
Well, in fact, Samiksha, when you talk about the decision which was taken in the crucial meet that had happened yesterday at the cabinet meeting, the best news was this, that yes, they have increased the MSP, and in fact MSP has been the long-standing demand of farmers, and they have been doing nationwide protests. They had even done protests earlier this year. So definitely farmers are ecstatic, and I am sure they are going to take this decision in a very positive manner. Like the Union Minister also said that this was indeed a clear policy decision which was taken in 2018, wherein they had decided that 1.5% of the total cost of production that would become the MSP. So this becomes interesting and significant as it also comes before the assembly elections which will be held later this year in Haryana, Jharkhand and Maharashtra. Now we must understand that PM Modi, while sitting on the first day in his office in the third term, the first paper, in fact the first document that he signed in the third tenure was that of signing the 17th installment of PM Kisan Awas Yojana. So this becomes important that yes, for him, farmers are an essential and core to the society for whom he has been taking these decisions. Well, we'll have to wait and watch what kind of reactions we are getting from the Farmers Union, as it was last night 7:30 that we had received this news. And yes, a government definitely would be implementing this in this Kharif season. Back to you.
All right, thank you so much. Center hiking Kharif MSP by a significant percentage. Thank you, Gopi, for getting at those details. I will be coming back to you as we get more updates on the story. Let's move ahead to the other stories we're tracking. Grave allegations have come in, and some from very serious people, including lawyers and journalists. An NGO called Save Culture, Save Bharat has raised concerns over the content on platforms like Netflix and X. They come with the opinion that the said content emerges as a threat to Indian sensitivities and our overall ethos.
Well, and let's also tell our viewers, Shivangi, that these are the very platforms that are easily accessible and available to young children. They have also been accused of promoting adult content. The question is, has OTT become a camouflage for promoting pornographic content? Let's take a look at this detailed report.
Save Culture, Save Bharat, an NGO, has filed a complaint with the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting.
After painstaking investigation, we have found that Netflix is dishing out pornography. We have sent a letter to Secretary INB today, and let us see we have asked for a ban.
Supreme Court advocate Vishnu Shankar informed Republic that the content promoted on OTT platforms were in strict violation of various legal provisions.
it's an offence under section 292, 293, 294 of the IPC, read with section 11 subclause 3 of the POSCO Act. So this is an offence under Indian law and it cannot be floated so far as X is concerned and so far as Netflix is concerned. So for that we have made our request and complaint.
Shankar has further eliminated on the issue by saying that such content poses severe risks to youth safety. The NGO has also raised concerns over the content being in violation of the POXO Act and have demanded for a national content control panel. Republic TV has also sent out an email to Netflix India asking for more information on what legal mechanisms the platform follows. The Netflix India team replied stating that they would file an official response in 24 to 48 hours. As we await a response from Netflix, the big question lives on. Are OTT platforms going to be regulated anytime soon? If not, how do we regulate this recipe for disaster?
Now, in a significant development, the police has arrested terror aide yesterday for his alleged involvement in the June 9 attack on a bus that carried pilgrims in J&K's Riasi district. So, Shivangi, definitely a big breakthrough when it comes to the forces who are going all out to avenge the terror attack in Riasi.
Yes, and that attack resulted in the deaths of 9 people, including 7 pilgrims from Rajasthan, UP and Delhi, and left 41 others injured. The Senior Superintendent of Police of Riasi, Mohita Sharma, identified the arrested terror aide as Hakam Din. She stated that Din was involved in harboring the terrorist multiple times, along with providing food and shelter. Din also acted as a guide and helped the terrorists reach the site of the attack. Here's a reaction coming in, and then we'll go to our reporter on the ground.
A major breakthrough has been achieved today where a militant associate, a terrorist associate, has been arrested in the case. His name is Hakam Din. He is a resident of Bandrai, which falls in district Rajouri. He was providing those militants food, shelter, and was working as a guide to those militants, to which he has confessed. As per his initial interrogation, he is telling about 3 different incidents where those militants came to his place, took shelter and food, and on one day prior to the incident, he was tasked with taking them cross-country to the place of incident. He was present there while the incident was happening, and later on he has not divulged it completely, but what we feel is that he actually helped them cross from the place of incident via the forest to the other side. We are still working on it, and he received a sum of around 6,000 rupees from those militants.
Let's go to Arawat joining us live from Baramulla. Arawat, terror aide has now been arrested by the police. We have seen many cases wherever there is a terrorist attack, somehow a connection is made to an aide in the area who helps these terrorists carry out such terrible, terrible attacks. What do we know about this aide? His name is Hakam Din, and he has been arrested.
Yeah, absolutely. This is the big win for the security agencies. We have seen recently when we reported from the ground when the attack took place, that time we said that local hand possibility must be in this attack, and yesterday this is a big win for the security forces that the Hakim Deen, who is from the Rajouri district and arrested with Jammu and Kashmir police in the same district where the attack took place. In fact, we had learned from our sources, an official told Republic that the individual who was involved in this, he has provided the logistic and he helped them to do recce of the same track after that this attack took place, and this is the big win for the security forces. And the main culprit who was behind this attack has been caught by the security force, and the investigation is going on. We have also learned from our sources more than 150 individuals have been detained by the different agencies for the questioning. So any time from now we can expect a big development in this case, that the major one victim who was involved in this accused of who was affiliated with Lashkar-e-Taiba, who has provided logistic and other shelter and food to the terrorists who was involved in the Sherkhur attack, and this is a big win. So we can expect any big development anytime from the now. Yashwangi.
cabinet meeting of Modi 3.0. Around 14 Kharif crops MSP has been increased. Farmers are rejoicing as they are going to earn 35 crore more. There is, in fact, 50% rise in the cost of production. We will be back with the rolling coverage. Stay tuned with Republic TV.
Powered by Vimal, Polo Zuban Kesari.
Co-powered by Simpolo. Tile ho to Simpolo.
चल हो जा शुरू
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे दिल झूमे देखो पतवारा हुआ रे दिल झूमे देखो पतवारा हुआ रे
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी
With over 1,12,718 startups igniting innovation, driving digital growth. Over 800 million internet users are bridging distances and strengthening bonds across the globe, making India the third largest digitalized country in the world, accounting for around 46% of the world's real-time digital transactions. To celebrate the makers and shakers behind Digital India, and India's phenomenal digital yatra, Republic Business is delighted to bring its inaugural Republic Business Emerging Tech Awards.
चल हो जा शुरू
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे दिल झूमे देखो पतवारा हुआ रे दिल झूमे देखो पतवारा हुआ रे
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी
Viewers, air conditioning manufacturers in India are experiencing a flux of urgently airlifted components such as compressors, cross-flow fans or motors and PCB circuits.
And to add to that, Shivangi, the surge in demand is fueled by an unyielding heat wave sweeping across the majority of the nation that has resulted in unprecedented sales of air conditioners as reported by industry experts.
Air conditioning manufacturers in India are witnessing a surge in demand driven by an intense and persistent heat wave affecting much of the country. To meet this heightened demand, companies are airlifting crucial components such as compressors, cross-flow fans or motors, and PCB circuits. Industry sources report that this increased demand has resulted in record sales of air conditioners across the country. To maintain production amid supply challenges, manufacturers are importing components via air freight from global suppliers in countries like China, Taiwan, Thailand, Malaysia, and Japan. Reflecting rising costs of materials such as copper and aluminium, some manufacturers have implemented price increases of 4 to 5%. The surge in air conditioner sales coincides with a significant spike in electricity consumption during peak heat wave conditions. According to officials from the State Load Dispatch Center, on Wednesday afternoon, peak power demand in Delhi reached an all-time high of 8,656 megawatt. This peak demand followed closely behind Tuesday's record of 8,647 megawatt, marking the second highest peak of the summer season. As the heat wave persists, both the demand for air conditioners and electricity consumption are expected to remain elevated, challenging supply chains and energy infrastructure alike.
And in news from the world of entertainment, Naomi Campbell celebrated her glittering 40-year career by showcasing outfits from her personal collection. She's not the first supermodel to have her own fashion exhibition honoring designers like Westwood, Versace and Alexander McQueen Shivangi.
That's right. The exhibition features many dresses she wore on runways for photo shoots and at special events. Tunisian-born designer Azzedine Alaya is highlighted in one part of the exhibit. Campbell is also known for supporting emerging fashion talents like Kenneth Aize, Dorisheju Dumi, both of whom have their designs featured in the exhibition. Here's a full report on this story.
After 40 years in Naomi Campbell's career in fashion and style, this marks such a major milestone as she becomes the first supermodel to have her own solo fashion exhibition. Loaned outfits from her private collection are on display at London's Victoria and Albert Museum.
This is the first major exhibition to look at the individual career of a supermodel through fashion, so we're really excited to be opening it. So it looks at the supermodel Naomi Campbell and her 40-year career in the business. So highlights include things like Yves Saint Laurent dress from 1987 made of white fluffy bird of paradise feathers, the incredible mock croc blue Vivienne Westwood shoes that she famously tumbled on in the catwalk in 1993, and then also kind of fashion photography will be throughout the show, and an installation curated by Edward Enninful.
Campbell's connection with big names like Westwood, Gianni Versace and Alexander McQueen are also commemorated in this exhibition.
So there's a specific section in the exhibition looking at Azzedine Alaya, who was a Paris-based Tunisian-born designer, and he's of huge importance to Naomi. So she met him in 1986 when she was in Paris, and they fostered a really wonderful personal and professional relationship. His clothes, there's so many of them in her wardrobe, so many of those are on display, including a wonderful leopard bodysuit, which was famously photographed by Herb Ritts in 1991.
The exhibition features a unique leopard print bodysuit she wore for a shoot with Herb Ritts in 1991. There are also displays of fashion talents of Kenneth Aize and Dorisheju Dumi. A display of her wearing Dolce & Gabbana gown and stiletto sandals is included.
It's been wonderful. Naomi's been around this week kind of looking at the exhibition, and it's been great to see her kind of look around, reflect on her career, and every time we look at another garment there's another story which comes out about how she wore it or the design or how it was styled, which has been really great.
What is also on display are the two outfits where the Streatham-born supermodel brought her trademark style to less than stylish moments.
Viewers, we are live and breaking, and we are getting you all the top updates in this morning edition. Much more coming up. Autopsies revealing a chilling detail of Renukaswamy's murder case. He was beaten till his entire flesh had scraped off, and he died due to a hemorrhage.
Shocking case emerged from finger in ice cream to mouse in chocolate syrup. Customers' safety put at stake.
चल हो जा शुरू
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे दिल झूमे देखो पतवारा हुआ रे दिल झूमे देखो पतवारा हुआ रे
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी.
Amity University has one of India's largest merit scholarship programs for brilliant students. Over 9,000 students with 90% plus in their 12th boards are currently at Amity, benefiting from the culture of academic excellence and focus on research and innovation. To be with like-minded students who want to be successful, apply at amity.edu/scholarships.
With over 1,12,718 startups igniting innovation, driving digital growth. Over 800 million internet users are bridging distances and strengthening bonds across the globe, making India the third largest digitalized country in the world, accounting for around 46% of the world's real-time digital transactions. To celebrate the makers and shakers behind Digital India and India's phenomenal digital yatra, Republic Business is delighted to bring its inaugural Republic Business Emerging Tech Awards.
चल हो जा शुरू
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे दिल झूमे देखो पतवारा हुआ रे दिल झूमे देखो पतवारा हुआ रे
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी
另外，我们也感谢美国，进行对台军售。
Hello, Moto. Motorola, India's best 5G smartphone brand.
And a quick check of the top headlines. Centre cancels UGC-NET following reports of exam integrity being compromised. Centre clears big MSP boost for Kharif crops, hikes Kharif MSPs by 5 to 12%. Autopsy reveals chilling details of Renukaswamy murder. He was beaten till his flesh scraped off and he died due to hemorrhage. Shocking case emerges from finger in ice cream to mouse in chocolate syrup. Customers' safety put at stake. J&K police makes breakthrough in Riasi terror attack, arrest logistics provider.
Hezbollah leader Hassan Nasrallah stated that his organization possesses new weaponry and enhanced intelligence capabilities. This was said to indicate that the Hezbollah can now target strategic positions deeper within Israel in the event of a broader regional conflict.
Now, this remark clearly a threat comes amid escalating tensions in the long-standing cross-border conflict between Hezbollah and Israeli forces, with recent diplomatic efforts also being made, which are aimed at de-escalation by a senior US envoy meeting Lebanese officials just a day before.
Hezbollah leader Hassan Nasrallah claimed that the group has enhanced its weapon and intelligence capabilities, potentially targeting deeper into Israel in a regional war.
نحن طبعا قاتلنا بجزء من سلاحنا حتى الآن. حصلنا على أسلحة جديدة.
Tensions between Hezbollah and Israel are escalating amid ongoing cross-border conflict and diplomatic efforts to ease the tensions.
لكن عليه الآن أن ينتظرنا برا وجوا وبحرا. وأيضا قلنا في السابق ونعيد اليوم: إذا فرضت الحرب على لبنان فإن المقاومة ستقاتل بلا ضوابط وبلا قواعد وبلا أسقف.
Hezbollah recently utilized homemade drones and surface-to-air missiles against Israeli targets, signaling increased military capabilities.
وقف النار في جبهة لبنان، وقف النار في جبهة اليمن، وقف النار في جبهة العراق سبيلها وحيد أوحد لا آخر له، وهو وقف الحرب والعدوان على غزة وعلى أهلنا في غزة.
Nasrallah suggested Hezbollah's fighter count has grown significantly, though specifics were not disclosed. A video reportedly filmed by a Hezbollah drone showcased parts of Haifa, suggesting capabilities to reach deep into Israel. Israeli military chief Lieutenant General Herzi Halevi acknowledged Hezbollah's demonstrated capabilities and asserted Israel's readiness. Hezbollah has intensified attacks on northern Israel, aiming to divert Israeli attention from Gaza. The conflict intensified after Israel's expanded offensive in Gaza and the killing of a senior Hezbollah commander. Nasrallah linked the Lebanon-Israel border conflict to broader regional tensions involving Yemen and Iraqi militias, calling for a Gaza ceasefire.
We now bring to you a developing story from outskirts of Athens, where scores of firefighters supported by water-bombing aircraft are battling a large and dangerous wildfire.
Well, situation is dangerous, Shivangi. The fire, which has been fueled by strong winds and soaring summer temperatures, has even prompted authorities to issue evacuation orders for 2 settlements at that very location.
Scores of firefighters and water-bombing aircraft are battling a large wildfire on the fringes of Athens. Strong winds and scorching summer temperatures have made the situation even more challenging. Authorities have issued evacuation orders for 2 nearby settlements as flames continue to course through the dry vegetation. Water-bombing aircraft are a crucial part of the firefighting efforts, targeting the heart of the fire to prevent further spread. Despite the harsh conditions, no injuries have been reported so far.
Χρειάζεται πολύ προσοχή. Πρέπει να φέρουμε μπουλντόζες να καθαρίσουν γύρω-γύρω, να μην κινδυνεύουμε, γιατί υπάρχει μεγάλος κίνδυνος για να χάσουμε τις ζωές μας και τα σπίτια μας.
The blaze has already caused significant damage, burning yachts, small boats, cars, and charred buildings. Officials suspect arson as the cause of the fire. Investigators have visual evidence, and a can of petrol was found near the origin of the blaze. Dozens of wildfires have broken out in Greece in recent days, but most were extinguished before causing extensive damage. Authorities warn of particularly high risk of fire this summer, following a dry, warm winter that has left vegetation tinder dry. For now, residents are urged to stay vigilant and follow evacuation orders promptly to ensure the safety.
All right, let's move on to news from Spain, where King Felipe VI commemorated a decade on the throne. He celebrated it with his queen and both the princesses, heir to the throne, with a military parade and an unwavering support for the people, from the people. The king has assured his commitment to the nation. Shivangi.
The celebration honored not only his decade-long reign, but also his dedication to the nation's constitutional values. From honoring the citizens with medals to spectacular flypasts, celebration was a big event in the city of Madrid. Here's a quick report on the momentous event.
King Felipe VI celebrated a decade on the throne of Spain with a gala event along with the people of Madrid.
Y hace 10 años fui proclamado rey ante las Cortes Generales tras prestar el juramento previsto en nuestra Constitución. Aquel 19 de junio de 2014 compartí con todos los españoles mi compromiso firme de total entrega a España, fundamentado.
King Felipe further expressed his gratitude towards the people while also ensuring unwavering dedication to the Constitution.
A la Constitución y a sus valores me he ceñido y me ceñiré siempre en el cumplimiento de mis responsabilidades. Son guía para el ejercicio de mis funciones. Fue y es el compromiso de un rey constitucional que trasciende la exigencia del deber. Lo es también en el plano personal y moral, como expresión profunda de mi respeto y lealtad al pueblo español al que me debo.
King Felipe was joined by Queen Letizia, Princess Leonor, the heir to the throne, and Princess Sofia. Followed by the king addressing the people, the military parade started with a spectacular flypast and continued with a march by the soldiers. The big event that celebrated the 10 years reigning milestone comprised of a military parade and a medal ceremony for the people.
Opal Lee, the 97-year-old Texan renowned for her advocacy to establish the Juneteenth as a national holiday, has finished a traditional 2.5-mile walk on Wednesday. The walk symbolizes the 2.5 years it took for enslaved people in Texas to learn of their freedom.
Well, that's right, Shivangi. And over the time, Lee has earned the nickname Grandmother of Juneteenth for her persistent efforts in mobilizing support, ultimately leading to the successful designation of June 19 as national holiday.
Opal Lee, The 97-year-old Texan completed her annual 2.5-mile walk to commemorate the 2.5 years it took for enslaved people in Texas to learn of their freedom. Hundreds joined Lee in the walk from African American Museum of Dallas, marking a significant show of support.
I'm delighted, I really am, that so many of you are celebrating freedom. And I don't mean freedom in Texas or freedom for black people. I mean freedom for all of us. And we aren't free yet. There are too many homeless people, too many jobless people, too many people who can't get health insurance. And we are responsible for climate change that if we don't do something about climate change, we all going to hell in a handbasket.
She urged individuals to take action by becoming ambassadors of change, encouraging them to influence others' perspectives over time.
I want you to make yourself a committee of one to change somebody's mind. You know people who aren't on the same page you on, change their minds. Not going to happen in a day, you're going to have to work at it. But if people have been taught to hate, they can be taught to love. And it's your responsibility.
Lee highlighted the need for persistent efforts, recognizing that transforming ingrained beliefs requires dedication and patience. Despite the progress made, Lee acknowledged that the true freedom for all remains an ongoing aspiration. Known as the grandmother of Juneteenth, Lee's advocacy efforts spanned years, culminating in the establishment of June 19th as a national holiday. Beyond her activism, Lee has made a lasting impact in her hometown through educational and community initiatives.
And Shivangi, as we speak, one of the top concerning news that's coming in from across the globe, this one from Mecca, where we understand that 550 pilgrims have lost their lives while they went on this Hajj. So very concerning indeed that 550 lives have been lost, and of those 550 people, many are said to be Indians.
Right. Well, this and much more coming up in our next segment. We get you up to date with all the international stories. Here is our international wrap. Moderate Iranian presidential candidate Masoud Pezeshkian held his first campaign yet in the capital city of Tehran. Pezeshkian is a surgeon and a member of the parliament. Is backed by the country's reformists and moderates, including former Foreign Minister Mohammad Javad Zarif. Zarif, who attended Wednesday's rally, negotiated a historic nuclear deal with world powers in 2015, which fell apart after the US President Donald Trump withdrew from 2019.
Louisiana has mandated the display of 10 commandments in all public school classrooms under a new law that's been signed by Republican Governor Jeff Landry. The measure, which requires large readable posters, is facing constitutional challenges from opponents, while supporters claim its historical significance as well. Note this, while opponents question the law's constitutionality and vowed to challenge it in courts, proponents said that the same measure is not solely religious, but that it has historical significance as well.
Yemen's Houthi rebels released a video purporting to show the attack, which sank a Greek-owned transport ship in the Red Sea. The video shows two large explosions on a bulk carrier at sea. The Liberian flag Tudor vessel sank days after being attacked. The British military, United Kingdom's Maritime Trade Operations Centre confirmed the sinking of the Tudor marks what appears to be a new escalation by Iranian-backed Houthis in the campaign of attack on the ships in the vital maritime corridor.
A defense exhibition in the Russian port city of Kronstadt opened with a military flyover and sailors marching in formation as exhibitors gathered to showcase the latest in naval weapons and technology. International guests, which even included military officials from other countries, pursued the exhibits and received information about different equipment, which included models for ships and small aircraft.
The UN High Commissioner for Refugees, Filipino Grandi, has urged all nations to do everything possible to stop conflict in Sudan during a visit to the war-torn country. Grandi visited refugee camps and displacement centers in Kosti in Sudan's White Nile state, where over 1 million people have sought shelter since the fighting started. Grandi said that in the wake of the conflict, many civilians were trapped in conflict flashpoints, unable to flee for safety elsewhere.
Hello, Moto. Motorola, India's best 5G smartphone brand.
Cyril Ramaphosa was sworn in for second term as South Africa's president in a ceremony that was held in the administrative capital. Ramaphosa, note, is now preparing to appoint a cabinet in this new coalition government, which is the first of its kind, when no single party in South Africa holds majority. The oath of office was administered to Ramaphosa in a public ceremony at the Union Buildings, the seat of government, by Chief Justice Raymond Zondo. Leaders including President Felix of the Democratic Republic of Congo, President Nangola of Namibia and former South African President were among those present at the ceremony.
I, Matamera Cyril Ramaphosa, swear that I will be faithful to the Republic of South Africa, so help me God. The voters of South Africa did not give any single political party the full mandate to govern our country alone. They have directed us to work together to address their plight and realize their aspirations. This is a new tide that heralds progress, transformation, and deep fundamental change. We look to this rising tide with optimism and hope. We must reject every attempt to divide or distract us, to sow doubt and cynicism, or to turn us against one another. Those who seek to stand in our way, those who seek to inflame tensions in our country, will not succeed.
The autopsy reveals chilling details of Renukaswamy murder. He was beaten till his flesh had scraped off. He died due to a hemorrhage.
Also, after a very short break, shocking cases emerged from finger in ice cream to mouse in chocolate syrup. Customers' safety put up at stake.
चल हो जा शुरू
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे दिल झूमे देखो पतवारा हुआ रे दिल झूमे देखो पतवारा हुआ रे
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी
With over 1,12,718 startups igniting innovation, driving digital growth. Over 800 million internet users are bridging distances and strengthening bonds across the globe, making India the third largest digitalized country in the world, accounting for around 46% of the world's real-time digital transactions. To celebrate the makers and shakers behind Digital India, and India's phenomenal digital yatra, Republic Business is delighted to bring its inaugural Republic Business Emerging Tech Awards.
चल हो जा शुरू
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे दिल झूमे देखो पतवारा हुआ रे दिल झूमे देखो पतवारा हुआ रे
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी
on to our sports segment then. The Copa America 2024 is about to kick off with the opening match that will take place between Argentina and the tournament newcomer Canada at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, United States. Note that Lionel Messi will lead Argentina team for 48th edition of the South American Championship that is set to begin.
As the 48th Copa America tournament is all set to kick off, Atlanta is putting on all the final touches to prepare for hosting the opening game. This year, Canada will make their debut in the tournament and will compete against Argentina first tomorrow.
Argentina is the best team in the world, and us playing this game against them is going to be a battle. You're playing against a team with a high quality, a lot of quality and a lot of organization. I think we prepared well for this game, and our mindset is strong. We're going out there playing against, the World Cup champions, and that's motivation for us. And obviously, just to win this game and try to move on.
The teams are in their final leg of preparations to defeat their opponents. Canada's national team manager, Jesse Marsh, hopes for the best for his team.
I think Argentina will have learned from the mistake they made in Qatar against Saudi Arabia, and we are expecting nothing but the absolute best from their team. So we'd be foolish to not prepare that way, I think.
Meanwhile, Lionel Messi and Argentina held a rigorous practice session ahead of their opener against Canada. Argentina's manager Lionel Scaloni discussed the challenge of facing a national team. Listen in.
Bueno, la dificultad está en enfrentar una selección de fútbol. Cuando enfrentas a una selección quiere decir que están los mejores de un país y más allá de que no hayamos jugado nunca o creo que hemos jugado muy poco en la historia, es una selección y la dificultad es máxima, es el inicio de un torneo, así que ya sabemos que es difícil, así que tenemos que estar preparados sabiendo que nos pueden poner en dificultad.
Furthermore, the Mexican national team has already arrived in Houston to start participating in the tournament. Fans gathered on the streets to catch a glimpse of the players upon their arrival. The Brazilian national football team arrived in Florida ahead of the tournament. All eyes are on the first match of the tournament, Argentina versus Canada.
Let's give some more sports updates coming in. Alexander Zverev seeded second and the crowd favorite progressed to the quarterfinals of the Halle Championship on Wednesday despite a competitive match against Italy's Lorenzo Sonego. Zverev clinched victory in the straight sets. He narrowly secured the first set 6-4 and faced a tie break in the second where his powerful ground strokes secured a 7-5 win. His next opponent will be Frenchman Arthur Fils.
South Africa faced a tough challenge to secure an 18-run victory over the US in the opening match of the Super 8's phase of the T20 World Cup in Antigua on Wednesday. Andreas Gauss, playing against his country of birth, led the US with an unbeaten 80 of 47 balls, moving to the top of the batting charts. However, South Africa managed to restrict the Americans to 176 for 6. Pace bowler Kagiso Rabada claimed figures of 318, while spinner Keshav Maharaj took the crucial wicket of the US captain Aaron Jones for a duck, ending with 124. Quinton D. Knock starred earlier with a magnificent 74 of 40 balls that was supported by Hendricks' unbeaten 36 of 22 balls. South Africa had struggled in the power play throughout the tournament, managing a high score of 38 runs in their first 6 overs against Nepal.
Denmark needs a win ahead of their matches against England and Serbia in Group C. They renewed their rivalry with England, recalling their Euro semi-final clash in 2020, where England won 2-1 after extra time. Harry Kane scored the decisive goal after his penalty was saved, but rebounded to Kasper Schmeichel. The controversial penalty awarded against Joachim Maliwal was a key moment in that game. The teams are familiar with each other, having players from Manchester United, Crystal Palace and Brentford on both sides.
And back home, news that came in from down south, another fatal murder has shocked the nation as Rajya Sabha MP's daughter Madhuri was arrested for allegedly running a car over 24-year-old man. The deceased, named Surya, was sleeping. In fact, this is the victim, 24-year-old, who's been identified as Surya. He was sleeping on a pavement when he was brutally killed by the vehicle.
Surya lost his life in the accident. His family and dear ones demand justice. They have further raised allegations against the accused for drunk driving and tampering with crucial evidence. Let's take a look at the exclusive updates in this story.
In a shocking incident from Chennai, daughter of Rajya Sabha MP Madhuri was arrested after her car fatally rammed over 24-year-old Surya. The accident occurred in Chennai's Besant Nagar area.
At the Tiger Veradachari First Cross Street, where on Monday at around 2:30 and 3, between 2:30 and 3, the accident happened, and this is the very spot where Surya, 22-year-old Surya painter, lost his life. Now, what is being clarified by police is that the vehicle came all the way from there, the BMW. Just want to pan over here. And as the vehicle came and it turned towards the left to go to the house over here, Surya was lying down over here, is what is being stated, what is being alleged.
According to police reports, Surya was asleep on the pavement when he was run over by Madhuri's car. Madhuri was promptly arrested but later released on station bail.
On one hand, the family of Surya has accused that the driver of the vehicle, that is Pida Madhuri, was drunk, and they've also accused they have tampered with the CCTV evidence. The police station, which comes under the J5 police station of Shastri Nagar, has denied all these claims. What they have essentially stated is that the police have gone by the records and this is merely an accidental case.
Meanwhile, Surya's family has made some serious claims. They claim that Madhuri was under the influence of alcohol at the time of the accident.
சார் எங்கள் வீட்டுக்காரர் வந்து ஓரமாக தான் சார் படுத்திருந்தாரு. அந்த பொம்பளை வந்து வேகமாக வண்டி ஓட்டி வந்து சார் டேனிங் அவள் ஏன்னா ட்ரிங்க்ஸ் பண்ணியிருந்தாள், 2 பேருமே ட்ரிங்க்ஸ் பண்ணியிருந்தாங்க, அதனால் வேகமாக ஓட்டினாங்க. அது சின்ன சந்து தான், ஆனால் அவ்வளோ ஸ்லோவாக வந்திருக்கலாம். அவன் அவ்வளோ வேகமாக வந்தா சார், வந்து கார் ஏற்றுனா சார். நான் கேட்டேன், என்னம்மா இந்த மாதிரி பண்ணி வச்சுருக்கீங்களே அப்படின்னு இருக்கு. உங்கள் வீட்டுக்காரர் குடிச்சிட்டு ரோட்டில் பார்த்தா நாங்கள் என்ன பண்ண முடியாதுன்னு கேட்டா.
Moreover, they alleged that a pharmacy's CCTV, which could have captured the incident, was forcibly destroyed. Following Surya's funeral, his family and friends demanded justice. Will the family get the justice they deserve, or will the accused evade the law once again? Only time can tell.
Well, viewers, coming up next, we will get you all the details because the UGC-NET, not NEET, but the UGC-NET stands cancelled due to irregularities. The date yet to be announced of the examinations. More deliberations will take place in terms of the NEET examination. Students in this country currently up in the furor. We'll get you more details on and the updates on the other side. Stay tuned with us. We take a short break.
चल हो जा शुरू
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे दिल झूमे देखो पतवारा हुआ रे दिल झूमे देखो पतवारा हुआ रे
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी
Amity University has one of India's largest merit scholarship programs for brilliant students. Over 9,000 students with 90% plus in their 12th boards are currently at Amity, benefiting from the culture of academic excellence and focus on research and innovation. To be with like-minded students who want to be successful, Apply at amity.edu/scholarships.
भारत हम चल पड़े किस जुनून किस शान से जन्नत नुमा कश्मीर से आसाम के बागान से महाराष्ट्र से गुजरात से कर्नाटक से राजस्थान से तब हिंदुस्तान मिले हिंदुस्तान से
जेके टायर, देश का टायर.
With over 1,12,718 startups igniting innovation, driving digital growth, over 800 million internet users are bridging distances and strengthening bonds across the globe, making India the third largest digitalized country in the world, accounting for around 46% of the world's real-time digital transactions. To celebrate the makers and shakers behind Digital India and India's phenomenal digital yatra, Republic Business is delighted to bring its inaugural Republic Business Emerging Tech Awards.
चल हो जा शुरू.
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे दिल झूमे देखो.
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
A very good morning, viewers. You're watching live this morning. I'm Samiksha Srivastava. Joining me in the studios is Shivangi Shukla. Shivangi, it's a packed edition, of course, but our top four stories are the cancellation of the NET exam and also the chilling details that have come to light in the Renukaswamy murder case.
That is right. That UGC-NET has been cancelled. The centre said that the exams integrity has been compromised. Over 9 lakh students had sat for the UGC-NET. That's a top story. But as usual, the headlines we're tracking. Let's get started with the headlines.
American Pistachio presents cracking news of the hour.
Centre cancels UGC-NET following reports of exam integrity being compromised.
Centre clears big MSP boost for Kharif crops, hikes Kharif MSP by 5 to 12.7%.
Autopsy reveals chilling details of Renukaswamy murder case. He was beaten till his flesh scraped off. He died due to hemorrhage.
Shocking cases emerged from finger in ice cream to mouse in chocolate syrup. Customers' safety put up at stake.
Jammu and Kashmir police make breakthrough in Riasi terror attack, arrest logistics provider. Viewers, the Ministry of Education has cancelled the UGC-NET June examination following indications that the integrity of the exam was compromised. A new date for the examination will be announced later. The decision aims to ensure the highest level of transparency and sanctity in the examination process. The National Testing Agency conducted the exam on June 18th in pen and paper mode across different cities.
Well, very shocking indeed, Shivangi. However, note it was on 19th of June, the University Granted Commission received inputs from the National Cybercrime Threat Analytics Unit of the Indian Cybercrime Coordination Center under the Ministry of Home Affairs. These inputs suggested that the exam's integrity might have been compromised. In fact, in response, the Ministry of Education has now decided to cancel the exam altogether and conduct a fresh one. The matter has also now been handed over to the Central Bureau of Investigation for a thorough probe. Let's go across to Rianka. She's joining us with the latest on that. Rianka, very shocking state of affairs to begin with. Take us through all that has happened when it comes to the NET UGC exam, which is conducted every year in the month of June and December. What is next for those students who appeared for the NET exam this year?
Right. The UGC-NET examinations is in fact conducted by the NTA, and NTA we know conducts the NEET examinations as well. Now, to clear the air for our viewers, this is not the cancellation for the NEET examinations but for the UGC-NET examinations that have been cancelled. Well, the examinations were held on the 18th of June. And they stand cancelled as to why. See, what happened was there were, analysis and data received by the center from the Cybercrime Threat Analytics Unit, which said that the integrity of the examinations was manipulated. There were irregularities that were found, which is why the center decided to call off the examinations on the 19th itself. Now, a fresh date will be announced for the UGC-NET examinations. That date will be given out to all the students, and when it comes to the manipulation and the irregularities in the UGC-NET examinations, the probe has been handed over to the Central Bureau of Investigation, and they have been asked to thoroughly see what has gone wrong. Now, on the other hand, this all is coming at a time when the entire nation, the students in the nation, are upset regarding the NEET exams, because we saw that there were irregularities also found in the NEET examinations, to which the center has said that the grace mark situation has been handled. When it comes to the paper leak that took place in Patna, that is being taken, quick measures have been taken regarding that. A probe is underway. On the other hand, we see that there will be protests by the SFI and the JNUSU regarding the cancellation of UGC-NET today at the Ministry of Education, Shastri Bhavan, nearly at around 2 p.m. So these are the details that are coming in. The NET examinations were held in a pen and paper mode, that is the OMR sheet mode, which is when these irregularities were found, and which is why the center has called off these examinations. But the future of the students lie hanging, because they once again have to go ahead and give these exams. We have to wait and see what happens. The big question right now is whether the NTA will in fact go ahead and cancel the NEET exams also. That is the question the students are constantly raising, because the medical students want re-NEET to be conducted.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, Priyanka, with all the details coming in. We'll keep a very close eye on the story and keep us updated with all the news updates. Let's move ahead right now to the other story we are tracking. We're getting you back-to-back breaking developments coming in the Renukaswamy murder case. Fresh leads have emerged as Darshan and his gang are set to be produced before the court this afternoon.
Yes, and to add to that, Shivangi, all 13 accused in this case will be presented before the magistrate court as the police custody ends today. Note that the police is seeking custody only for those who are further needed for spot inquest and interrogation to happen of all the accused.
Hair strands from all the accused have been collected at Victoria Hospital and will undergo DNA testing. A total of 118 pieces of circumstantial evidence have been seized from inquests conducted across 28 locations connected to the case.
And to add to that, technical evidence has now been sent to the cyber cell for further analysis in this case, while DNA material has also been dispatched to the forensic science lab to establish and confirm the identities. We have Prajwal who's joining us, getting us those back-to-back leads. Prajwal, break it down for us. These are shocking details, to say the least, the gory details that have come to light. Break it down for us, part by part, on what we know in the latest.
At this point of time, Samiksha, we get to understand that as the police custody of all the 13 ends today, they will be produced before the magistrate court post 3:30 in the afternoon as well. And once they are produced in all likelihood, it is being understood that only the accused who are needed for the spot inquest, crime recreation and interrogation will be taken into police custody, and the special public prosecutor will be seeking custody of only them, and the majority of them will be sent to the judicial custody. Now, already 4 of them have been sent to the judicial custody out of the total 17, and today the 13 will also be produced before the magistrate too. So we need to see that. And meanwhile, there is also being technical as well as forensic material which has been taken in, and therefore the cyber cell and the forensic science lab team is also working together, coordinating together to make sure that they go ahead and assist the cops to bring this particular case to a logical logical conclusion. So therefore, hair strands were also collected of all the 13 accused concerning this particular case, and they will be matched with the hair samples that had been collected from the murder spot as well as from the back seat of a car which was found on the mat of it too. So they will try to see whether there is any sort of potential ID match as well, so that they can link it to the accused directly who were involved in disposing of the body. Secondly, we are also speaking about the technical evidence over here, which is mainly the CCTV footages as well as the call detail recordings too, which could go ahead and establish the fact that the accused were present in the spot of the murder at the time when it was committed too. So this would definitely go ahead and strengthen the case and could go ahead and bring it to a logical conclusion.
Yes, Prajwal, stay with us. We have another lead that you're getting us. Let's put that on our screens as well. It's yet another development only on Republic. Cops are now focusing on the murder spot when Rajeshwari Nagar area. The police has recorded the statement of Jaina, the owner of the plot, where the shed was built. Note that Renukaswamy was brutally assaulted, tortured and then murdered in this very shed. So this is the Rajeshwari Nagar, the spot that the police is going to be focusing on, as we understand that Renukaswamy was brutally tortured, assaulted and murdered in this very shed. Shivangi.
The police have gone ahead and the police have also seized a lot of DVRs and CCTV footage from the location. Out of the 7 CCTV footage covered the shed, only 2 were functional while 5 were not working. We're going back to Prajwal right now on this story. Prajwal, I'm coming across to you. Prajwal, take us to the latest details coming in. The CCTV footage is definitely very crucial when it comes to cracking this case.
Absolutely, Shivangi, because this will go ahead and prove that who were the accused who were present during the time of the crime and what was the timings that they were present in, and when was the entry and exit of it as well, because that will have to be recorded even in the remand copy as well as later in the charge sheet which will be submitted in front of the court to prove that these accused were involved in the murder of Renukaswamy. And also out of the 7 CCTVs that was present in the shed, it is being understood that only 2 were functional. So the DVR has also been taken in and it has been seized, and the cops are going through the entire CCTV footage, and the special public prosecutor will be presenting the contents of it verbally to in front of the magistrate today, and in all likelihood there will also be statements of the accused which will be recorded under CRPC section 164 in front of the magistrate. Not only that, very important is the fact that the statement of the owner Pattangere Jayanna was taken here at the police station too, because he was the one who had gone ahead and rented this particular spot where the shed was built and the murder had taken place there. And he was also asked about how he knew about how did he know the owner of this particular shed who had built it, and when was the rent deed signed and given to him. So all of this is also being taken into consideration, and the cops are still going ahead and querying it.
All right, Prajwal, thank you for the moment. We will keep coming back to you. So these are back-to-back leads coming in the Renukaswamy murder case. But let's shift focus to the other big story that came yesterday, Shivangi. It's indeed a big MSP boost for the farmers across the country, as the government has now raised the minimum support price for paddy by 5.35%, increasing it by 117 to 2,300 per quintal for this financial year and this Kharif marketing season. Now, note, despite having surplus rice stocks, this hike is striking as it comes just ahead of elections in the states like Haryana, Maharashtra, Jharkhand and even the national capital. Information and Broadcasting Minister Ashwini Vaishnav has notified on the same that the cabinet approved the MSP for 14 Kharif crops based on recommendations that were made by the Commission for Agriculture Costs and Prices. Shivangi.
That is right. The MSP for common grade paddy has been raised to rupees 2,300 per quintal, while A grade variety has been increased. That is right. Now, the A grade variety has been increased to rupees 2,320 in the upcoming Kharif season. Decision marks the first cabinet decision in the Prime Minister Modi's 3rd term in office. I'm going to go across to Gopi, who's joining us live. Gopi, cabinet has approving the increase in MSP for 14 Kharif crops for this season. Take us through the big details coming in, and this is very important as this is in line with the Prime Minister's vision to support the farmers.
Well, indeed, as rightly mentioned, Shivangi, when you talk about the MSP, this was first included in the MS Swaminathan 2006 report, post which in the Lok Sabha elections of 2014, PM Modi had promised 1.5% of a rise in total cost of production. So this was what he had promised, and he in fact has delivered it today. In 2018, the clear policies decision was taken that yes, there will be a rise in 1.5% in the total cost of production. While talking about the MSP, farmers across the nation have been demanding this since so long that they were on streets previously this year as well, and we are sure that farmers would be giving positive reaction to this particular change which would be coming. In fact, when you talk about the third tenure, beginning of third tenure, it was Prime Minister Narendra Modi's first document that he had signed. He had signed on the 17th installment of PM Awas Yojana. So this shows his inclination towards the betterment of farmers. While we will just wait for the day to proceed, and we will see what kind of reactions we are getting from the farmers union. While this is definitely going to benefit farmers at large, where they are going to earn over 35,000 crore more to what they were earning. And yes, there will be surety of their excess crops, which would be bought by the government at the minimum support price. Back to you.
And Gopi, this interestingly comes as part of Prime Minister's 100-day action plan, Shivangi. In fact, let's once again listen into that statement that came in from Ashwini Vaishnav making that big MSP announcement.
In today's cabinet also, one very important decision has been taken regarding the welfare of farmers. खरीफ सीजन स्टार्ट हो रहा है. खरीफ सीजन के लिए 14 क्रॉप्स पे मिनिमम सपोर्ट प्राइस आज कैबिनेट ने अप्रूव किया है. मैं इन प्राइसेस के बारे में पढ़ूंगा, उससे पहले आई विल गिव द कॉन्टेक्स्ट. इन द 2018 यूनियन बजट, the government of India had given a very clear policy decision, had taken a very clear policy decision that MSP कम से कम 1.5 गुना होनी ही चाहिए कॉस्ट की. It has to be at least 1.5 times the cost of production. तो आज के जो फैसले आप देखेंगे, इन सब फैसलों में इस प्रिंसिपल को ध्यान रखा गया है. Every crop that I am going to read out will have at least 50% more MSP compared to the cost. और कॉस्ट को निकालने का भी बहुत ही साइंटिफिक तरीका है. इसका एक मैकेनिज्म है. CACP के द्वारा देश भर में कई तहसीलों में, कई जिलों में, कई विलेजेस में जाके स्टडी किया जाता है. कॉस्ट ऑफ प्रोडक्शन सारे के सारे फैक्टर्स को लेके स्टडी किया जाता है. तो इसके आधार पर आज जो MSP डिक्लेयर हुई है वो है धान. सबसे पहले धान का नया MSP, पैडी का नया MSP खरीफ के लिए 2,300 रुपीज डिक्लेयर किया गया है, विच इज 117 रुपीज इंक्रीमेंट ओवर द प्रीवियस MSP. आप इसको 2,300 को अगर आप कॉन्टेक्स्ट में देखना चाहोगे, दैट इज अगर 2013-14 का जो प्राइस था, दैट प्राइस वाज 1,310 रुपीज, 1,310. यानी कहाँ 1,310 था और कहाँ आज 2,300 है. किस तरह से किसान भाइयों के लिए, किसान परिवारों के लिए प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी और सरकार का हमेशा एक स्पेशल फोकस रहता है, ये इसको दर्शाता है.
All right, Gopi, we will go across to Gopi again, and we'll also watch out for how the farmers group react to this move. But for now, we move on to the other big story we are tracking. Note that there have been grave allegations that have come to light from some very serious people, including lawyers and even journalists. An NGO called Save Culture, Save Bharat has raised concerns over content on platforms like Netflix and X. They have come up with the opinion that saying that the content emerges as a threat to Indian sensitivities and our overall ethos.
The very platform that are easily available to young children have also been accused of promoting adult content. Has OTT become a camouflage for promoting pornographic content? Let's take a look at this report for more.
Save Culture, Save Bharat, an NGO, has filed a complaint with the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting.
After painstaking investigation, we have found that Netflix is dishing out pornography. We have sent a letter to Secretary INB today, and let us see we have asked for a ban.
Supreme Court advocate Vishnu Shankar informed Republic that the content promoted on OTT platforms were in strict violation of various legal provisions.
It's an offence under section 292, 293, 294 of the IPC, read with section 11 subclause 3 of the POSCO Act. So this is an offence under Indian law, and it cannot be floated so far as X is concerned and so far as Netflix is concerned. So for that we have made our request and complaint.
Shankar has further eliminated on the issue by saying that such content poses severe risks to youth safety. The NGO has also raised concerns over the content being in violation of the POXO Act and have demanded for a national content control panel. Republic TV has also sent out an email to Netflix India asking for more information on what legal mechanisms the platform follows. The Netflix India team replied stating that they would file an official response in 24 to 48 hours. As we await a response from Netflix, the big question lives on. Are OTT platforms going to be regulated anytime soon? If not, how do we regulate this recipe for disaster?
In a major decision yesterday at the Union Cabinet Ministry, where a crucial meeting was held, the remarkable decision of MSP has been taken at the cabinet meeting. While 14 crops of this Kharif season farmers are going to gain from that the MSP. We will be back with the rolling coverage. Stay tuned with Republic TV.
And viewers, on the other side, we'll also get you all the details of the UGC-NET that stands cancel, and now the opposition and the students all call for the NTA to cancel the NEET examinations as well and come with re-NEET exams. We will get you more details on the other side. Stay tuned with us on Republic.
Powered by Vimal, Polo Zuban Kesari.
Co-powered by Simpolo. Tile ho to Simpolo.
चल हो जा शुरू केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे दिल झूमे देखो पतवारा हुआ रे दिल झूमे देखो पतवारा हुआ रे
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी.
With over 1,12,718 startups igniting innovation, driving digital growth, over 800 million internet users are bridging distances and strengthening bonds across the globe, making India the third largest digitalized country in the world, accounting for around 46% of the world's real-time digital transactions. To celebrate the makers and shakers behind Digital India and India's phenomenal digital yatra, Republic Business is delighted to bring its inaugural Republic Business Emerging Tech Awards.
चल हो जा शुरू केसरिया से मन
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
And it's a big breakthrough in the Riasi terror attack as the police has now arrested terror aide for his alleged involvement in the June 9 attack on a bus that carried pilgrims in J&K's Riasi. In fact, note this incident is one of the 4 terror attacks to have happened in the valley in the last few weeks. This has resulted in the deaths of 9 pilgrims who were on way from Riasi to Katra. Let's listen in to the statement that's coming from the police and then we go across to Arawat.
Yeah, a major breakthrough has been achieved today where a militant associate, a terrorist associate has been arrested in the case. His name is Hakamdeen. He is a resident of Bandrai, which falls in district Rajouri. He was providing those militants food, shelter and was working as a guide to those militants, to which he has confessed. As per his initial interrogation, he is telling about 3 different incidents where those militants came to his place, took shelter and food, and on one day prior to the incident, he was tasked with taking them cross country to the place of incident. He was present there while the incident was happening, and later on he has not divulged it completely, but what we feel is that he actually helped them cross from the place of incident via the forest to the other side. We are still working on it, and he received a sum of around 6,000 rupees from those militants.
All right, let's go across to Arawat. He's joining us with the details. Arawat, this is, of course, a big breakthrough. Once again, talk to us about what do we know about this terror associate, one, and do we know anything so far about those 4 terrorists, the sketches of whose have also been released by the J&K police last week?
Yeah, absolutely, Shamika. This is the big win for the security agencies, that the main accused who was involved in the Riasi terror attack, who was behind this attack, who helped the terrorists to carry this attack. In fact, he was also involved in the racket that was done by these terrorists. In fact, Jammu and Kashmir police has released sketches and reward for these terrorists. In fact, these posters have been circulated on the various social media across and the posters have been established at the many places in the Jammu and Kashmir. So far, there is search going on for these terrorists who are behind this attack. In fact, we had also learned from our sources that more than 150 detained for the questioning related to this case in the Riasi, and we can expect any big lead from any time from now. As we have spoke to the Jammu and Kashmir police official, they have told this was the prime accused who was involved in this attack, who provided the logistic to these terrorists and the food and shelter for the terrorists who carried this attack. In fact, we had also learned from the sources that the terrorists paid 6,000 rupees to Hakamdeen to carry this attack, to do Raki, and to guide them to reach the spot where the terrorists attacked the bus driver and other pilgrims. And so far, this is a big lead for the Jammu and Kashmir security agencies. In fact, the coordinated search operation is still underway in the various locations related to the same case. In fact, Jammu and Kashmir police are trying to get the intelligence-based inputs, and the telecom agencies have been told to provide the intelligence related to these terrorists where they're about. And after that, we have seen yesterday that the police told that Hakamdeen, who is the local resident of the Rajouri, but he has been caught by the security forces in the Riasi district. Riasi is the same district where the attack took place, and this is the big win for the security forces, as we had learned from the sources that many arrests may take place in the coming days. So far, this is the big lead for the security. Yes, Samiksha.
All right, Arawat, thank you for the moment. So yes, forces going all out to avenge the 4 back-to-back terror attacks. We'll head into a very short break for now, but when we come back, we'll get you the latest that's making news from across the country, the focus being the cancellation of UGC-NET exam. The ministry has announced the cancellation and has ordered CBI inquiry into the same. Also, after a very short break, shocking cases emerged from finger and ice cream to mouse in chocolate syrup. Customers' safety put up at stake.
चल हो जा शुरू
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे दिल झूमे देखो पतवारा हुआ रे दिल झूमे देखो पतवारा हुआ रे
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी
Amity University has one of India's largest merit scholarship programs for brilliant students. Over 9,000 students with 90% plus in their 12th boards are currently at Amity, benefiting from the culture of academic excellence and focus on research and innovation. To be with like-minded students who want to be successful, apply at amity.edu/scholarships.
With over 1,12,718 startups igniting innovation, driving digital growth. Over 800 million internet users are bridging distances and strengthening bonds across the globe, making India the 3rd largest digitalized country in the world, accounting for around 46% of the world's real-time digital transactions. To celebrate the makers and shakers behind Digital India and India's phenomenal digital yatra, Republic Business is delighted to bring its inaugural Republic Business Emerging Tech Awards.
चल हो जा शुरू
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे दिल झूमे देखो पतवारा हुआ रे दिल झूमे देखो पतवारा हुआ रे
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी
Hello, Moto.
Motorola, India's best 5G smartphone brand.
And here's a quick look at the top headlines. Center cancels UGC-NET following reports of exam integrity being compromised. Centre clears big MSP boost for Kharif crops, hikes Kharif MSP by 5 to 12%. Autopsy reveals chilling details of Renukaswamy murder case. He was beaten till his flesh scraped off and he died due to hemorrhage. Shocking cases emerged from finger and ice cream to mouse in chocolate syrup now. Customers' safety put up at stake. J&K police makes big breakthrough in Riasi terror attack, arrests logistics provider in the terror attack. And let's begin with our business segment this hour. The government has initiated a big move, hiking the MSP on crops. We have our business colleague Rajat who's joining us live right now. Rajat, break it down for us. What does this move entail and how do you think this is going to benefit the farmers across the country?
So Samiksha, yesterday Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs approved a big boost for the MSPs as far as farmers are concerned for the Kharif crops, and they raised the MSP for the Kharif 14 Kharif crops ranging from paddy, bajra, jowar, etc. And you know, this was a long-standing. This is coming at a backdrop when government, after taking over, initiated 20,000 crore for the first PM Fasal Kisan Bima Yojana, and after that now they have increased the MSP for 14 Kharif crops. The total outgo for this, 2 trillion rupees will be given as an MSP to all the farmers as far as Kharif crop is concerned, and this MSP allocation is 35,000 crore more than what was allocated last year, and this is hiked for the 14, and the maximum hike is for paddy crop, and this is coming at a time when there are few states which are going for polls later this year. Maharashtra, Haryana and Jharkhand are some of the states, and also we know that in the beginning of the year farmers were protesting for the MSPs. Ashwini Vaishnav yesterday, while addressing a press conference, also said that this has been the policy, and it was announced in the budget of 2018 that the government wants to give the MSP 1.5 times more than the cost of production. So this is what exactly the government has delivered now. The MSP for 14 Kharif crop has been hiked, and now it's very crucial just ahead of 3 elections that are going to happen later this year, Samiksha.
All right, Rajat, thank you for breaking it down for us. So big relief that's coming in for farmers across the country. The government announcing that big move, hiking the MSP on the Kharif crops. All right, let's move on to news that came in from Russia. President Vladimir Putin has finally concluded his visit to North Korea, where he, along with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un, have solidified their country's ties amid rising tensions with the West. Important to add here that this was the first visit by Vladimir Putin in 24 years to North Korea.
Russian President Vladimir Putin was warmly welcomed in Pyongyang, marking his first visit to North Korea in 24 years. The summit, which took place at Pyongyang's main square, saw both leaders participating in a grand ceremony.
Россию и КНДР многие десятилетия связывает прочная дружба и тесное добрососедство.
조선민주인민국 한국과 러시아는 지난 몇십 년 동안 깊은 친선의 전통을 이어오고 있습니다.
Взаимодействие между нашими странами основано на принципах равноправия, взаимного уважения, интересов друг друга.
The visit included a wreath-laying ceremony at the Liberation Monument, honoring Soviet soldiers from the Second World War. Both leaders then proceeded to sign a comprehensive partnership agreement aimed at mutual assistance in times of aggression.
Подписанный сегодня договор о всеобъемлющем партнерстве предусматривает в том числе оказание взаимной помощи в случае агрессии против одного из участников этого документа.
North Korea's Supreme Leader Kim Jong-un emphasized the strategic depth of the agreement, highlighting that their relations have reached a level of alliance. He expressed full support for Russia's actions in Ukraine, allying their stances against Western sanctions.
조로 사이의 포괄적인 전략적 동반자 관계에 관한 조약이 체결됨으로 하여 우리 두 나라 관계는 정치와 경제, 문화, 군사 등 여러 방면에서의 호상 협력 확대로서 두 나라의 진보와 인민들의 복리 증진을 이룩할 수 있는 보다 훌륭한 전망적 발전 궤도 위에 올라서게 되었습니다.
While the specifics of the arms arrangement remain unclear, the agreement raises concerns among global powers, particularly regarding North Korea's support in supplying munitions for Russia's military operations in Ukraine.
В этой связи Российская Федерация не исключает для себя развитие военно-технического сотрудничества с Корейской Народно-Демократической Республикой в соответствии с подписанным сегодня документом.
The Russian president gifted the Aurus luxury car to Kim, marking the second time the North Korean leader has received this car model from Putin. The meeting was punctuated by a test drive where Putin took the North Korean leader for a spin in the Russian-made Aurus car.
Now, Cyril Ramaphosa was sworn in for second consecutive time as South Africa's president in a ceremony that was held in the administrative capital. Note, this marked the first time in its 30-year rule that a coalition of parties has assisted in the process of government making. In fact, note also that Ramaphosa is now preparing to appoint a cabinet in this new coalition government, which is also going to be the first of its kind, where no single party holds a majority in the country.
For the first time in 30 years of ruling, the ANC has lost its majority. Cyril Ramaphosa was sworn in for his second term as South Africa's president, hailing his broad coalition government as the dawn of a new era.
I, Matamela Cyril Ramaphosa, swear that I will be faithful to the Republic of South Africa, so help me God.
The ceremony took place in the administrative capital of Pretoria. Current and former African heads of state and diplomats were in attendance. Ramaphosa is now set to appoint a cabinet in a new coalition government after his African National Congress party lost its parliamentary majority in last month's election. Ramaphosa is now set to appoint a cabinet in a new coalition government after his African National Congress party lost its parliamentary majority in elections. The ANC will now form a government of national unity in collaboration with other political parties that received votes in the May elections. Major players such as the Democratic Alliance and the Inkatha Freedom Party have already joined the coalition, and others like the Patriotic Alliance, the Good Party, and the Pan-Africanist Congress are widely expected to follow suit. However, the third largest party, led by former President Jacob Zuma, the Umkhonto we Sizwe Party, and the leftist Economic Freedom Fighters Party have refused to be part of it. He was re-elected by lawmakers with the support of the main opposition party. Supporters stated that they will now focus on the new government despite ideological differences.
Ideologically, we're not the same. But now, when it comes to governance, governance is governance, service delivery is service delivery. So let's focus on that, go back to our people, because our people need service delivery at the end of the day.
I support the GNU because I think with GNU, if all political parties hold each other's hands, we will go forward, we will see change in our country, because for so many years, ANC have been there alone, but now when they are united, I think there will be change and we will see a brighter future, and our economy, I think it will rise.
With Cyril Ramaphosa sworn in for a second term and a coalition government formed, South Africa enters a new chapter marked by political collaboration and change.
Now, in wake of sweltering heat, air conditioning manufacturers in the country are experiencing an influx of urgently airlifted components such as compressors, cross-flow fans and even PCB circuits. This surge in demand is fueled by an unyielding heat wave that's sweeping across a majority of the states, resulting in unprecedented sales of air conditioners across the country.
Air conditioning manufacturers in India are witnessing a surge in demand driven by an intense and persistent heat wave affecting much of the country. To meet this heightened demand, companies are airlifting crucial components such as compressors, cross-flow fans or motors, and PCB circuits. Industry sources report that this increased demand has resulted in record sales of air conditioners across the country. To maintain production amid supply challenges, manufacturers are importing components via air freight from global suppliers in countries like China, Taiwan, Thailand, Malaysia, and Japan. Reflecting rising costs of materials such as copper and aluminium, some manufacturers have implemented price increases of 4 to 5%. The surge in air conditioner sales coincides with a significant spike in electricity consumption during peak heat wave conditions. According to officials from the State Load Dispatch Center, on Wednesday afternoon, peak power demand in Delhi reached an all-time high of 8,656 megawatt. This peak demand followed closely behind Tuesday's record of 8,647 megawatt, marking the second highest peak of the summer season. As the heat wave persists, both the demand for air conditioners and electricity consumption are expected to remain elevated, challenging supply chains and energy infrastructure alike.
Now, in the backdrop of raging Israel-Hamas war, Hezbollah leader has stated that his organization possesses new weaponry and enhanced intel capabilities as well. This was in fact said to indicate that Hezbollah can now target strategic positions deeper within Israel in event of a broader regional conflict.
Hezbollah leader Hassan Nasrallah claimed that the group has enhanced its weapon and intelligence capabilities, potentially targeting deeper into Israel in a regional war.
نحن طبعا قاتلنا بجزء من سلاحنا حتى الآن. حصلنا على أسلحة جديدة.
Tensions between Hezbollah and Israel are escalating amid ongoing cross-border conflict and diplomatic efforts to ease the tensions.
لكن عليه الآن أن ينتظرنا برا وجوا وبحرا. وأيضا قلنا في السابق ونعيد اليوم: إذا فرضت الحرب على لبنان فإن المقاومة ستقاتل بلا ضوابط وبلا قواعد وبلا أسقف.
Hezbollah recently utilized homemade drones and surface-to-air missiles against Israeli targets, signaling increased military capabilities.
وقف النار في جبهة لبنان، وقف النار في جبهة اليمن، وقف النار في جبهة العراق سبيلها وحيد أوحد لا آخر له، وهو وقف الحرب والعدوان على غزة وعلى أهلنا في غزة.
Nasrallah suggested Hezbollah's fighter count has grown significantly, though specifics were not disclosed. A video reportedly filmed by a Hezbollah drone showcased parts of Haifa, suggesting capabilities to reach deep into Israel. Israeli military chief Lieutenant General Herzi Halevi acknowledged Hezbollah's demonstrated capabilities and asserted Israel's readiness. Hezbollah has intensified attacks on northern Israel, aiming to divert Israeli attention from Gaza. The conflict intensified after Israel's expanded offensive in Gaza and the killing of a senior Hezbollah commander. Nasrallah linked the Lebanon-Israel border conflict to broader regional tensions involving Yemen and Iraqi militias, calling for a Gaza ceasefire.
And a look at top international stories from across the globe. Moderate Iranian presidential candidate Masoud held his biggest campaign meeting yet in the capital city of Tehran. Pezeshkian, who is a surgeon and a member of parliament, is backed by the country's reformists and moderates, including former foreign minister who attended Wednesday's rally, negotiated a historic nuclear deal with world leaders in 2015, which fell apart after former US President Donald Trump withdrew from in 2018. Louisiana has mandated the display of 10 commandments in all public school classrooms under a new law that's been signed by Republican governor. The measure, requiring large readable posters, is facing constitutional challenge from opponents, while supporters claim its historical significance. While opponents question the law's constitutionality and vowed to challenge it in court, proponents said that the measure is not solely religious but that it has historical significance as well. Yemen's Houthi rebels released a video purportedly that showed their attack, which sank a Greek-owned transport ship in the Red Sea. The video shows two large explosions on a bulk carrier at sea. The Liberia Tutor vessel sank days after being attacked. The UK military's Maritime Trade Operations Centre has also confirmed the same. The sinking of the ship marks what appears to be a new escalation by the Iranian-backed Houthis in the campaign of attacks on ships in the vital maritime corridor. A defense exhibition in the Russian port city of Kronstadt opened with a military flyover and sailors marching in formation as exhibitors gathered to showcase their latest in naval weapons and technology. International guests, including military officials from other countries, received information about different equipments, which included models for ships and small aircraft. The UN High Commissioner for Refugees, Filippo Grandi, has urged all nations to do everything possible to stop conflict in Sudan during a visit to the war room. Grandi visited refugee camps and displacement centers in Sudan's White Nile state, where over 1 million people have sought shelter since the fighting began. Grandi said that in wake of the conflict, many civilians were trapped in conflict flashpoints, unable to flee or for safety elsewhere. And in news that's coming in from Greece, this is from the outskirts of Athens, where scores of firefighters have been supported by water-bombing aircraft. They are now battling a large and dangerous wildfire. In fact, details coming in that the fire has been fueled by strong winds and soaring summer temperatures, which has in fact prompted authorities to issue evacuation orders in the region.
Scores of firefighters and water-bombing aircraft are battling a large wildfire on the fringes of Athens. Strong winds and scorching summer temperatures have made the situation even more challenging. Authorities have issued evacuation orders for 2 nearby settlements as flames continue to course through the dry vegetation. Water-bombing aircraft are a crucial part of the firefighting efforts, targeting the heart of the fire to prevent further spread. Despite the harsh conditions, no injuries have been reported so far.
Χρειάζεται πολύ προσοχή. Πρέπει να φέρουμε μπουλντόζες να καθαρίσουν γύρω-γύρω, να μην κινδυνεύουμε γιατί υπάρχει μεγάλος κίνδυνος για να χάσουμε τις ζωές μας και τα σπίτια μας.
The blaze has already caused significant damage, burning yachts, small boats, cars, and charred buildings. Officials suspect arson as the cause of the fire. Investigators have visual evidence and a can of petrol was found near the origin of the blaze. Dozens of wildfires have broken out in Greece in recent days, but most were extinguished before causing extensive damage. Authorities warn of particularly high risk of fire this summer, following a dry, warm winter that has left vegetation tinder dry. For now, residents are urged to stay vigilant and follow evacuation orders promptly to ensure the safety.
We head into a very short break, but when we come back, lots lined up for you, getting details of the chilling murder of Renukaswamy, who was beaten till his flesh scraped off and he died due to hemorrhage. Shocking case emerges from finger in ice cream to mouths in chocolate syrup. Customers' safety put up at stake.
चल हो जा शुरू
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे दिल झूमे देखो पतवारा हुआ रे दिल झूमे देखो पतवारा हुआ रे
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी
ऐ भारत हम चल पड़े इस जुनून किस शान से जन्नत नुमा कश्मीर से आसाम के बागान से महाराष्ट्र से गुजरात से कर्नाटक से राजस्थान से तब हिंदुस्तान मिले हिंदुस्तान से
जेके टायर देश का टायर.
With over 1,12,718 startups igniting innovation, driving digital growth. Over 800 million internet users are bridging distances and strengthening bonds across the globe, making India the third largest digitalized country in the world, accounting for around 46% of the world's real-time digital transactions. To celebrate the makers and shakers behind Digital India and India's phenomenal digital yatra, Republic Business is delighted to bring its inaugural Republic Business Emerging Tech Awards.
चल हो जा शुरू
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे दिल झूमे देखो पतवारा
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
另外，我们也感谢美国，进行对台军售啊。
And in news from the world of sports, Naomi Campbell celebrated her glittering 40-year career by showcasing outfits from a personal collection. She's in fact the first supermodel to have her own fashion exhibition. Getting you this story from our entertainment section.
After 40 years in Naomi Campbell's career in fashion and style, this marks as a major milestone as she becomes the first supermodel to have her own solo fashion exhibition. Loaned outfits from her private collection are on display at London's Victoria and Albert Museum.
This is the first major exhibition to look at the individual career of a supermodel through fashion, so we're really excited to be opening it. So it looks at the supermodel Naomi Campbell and her 40-year career in the business. So highlights include things like Yves Saint Laurent dress from 1987 made of white fluffy bird of paradise feathers, the incredible mock croc blue Vivienne Westwood shoes that she famously tumbled on in the catwalk in 1993, and then also kind of fashion photography will be throughout the show, and an installation curated by Edward Enninful.
Campbell's connection with big names like Westwood, Gianni Versace and Alexander McQueen are also commemorated in this exhibition.
So there's a specific section in the exhibition looking at Azzedine Alaïa, who was a Paris-based Tunisian-born designer, and he's of huge importance to Naomi. So she met him in 1986 when she was in Paris, and they fostered a really wonderful personal and professional relationship. His clothes, there's so many of them in her wardrobe, so many of those are on display, including a wonderful leopard bodysuit, which was famously photographed by Herb Ritts in 1991.
The exhibition features a unique leopard print bodysuit she wore for a shoot with Herb Ritts in 1991. There are also displays of fashion talents of Kenneth Easy and Doresheju Dumi. A display of her wearing Dolce & Gabbana gown and stiletto sandals is included.
It's been wonderful. Naomi's been around this week kind of looking at the exhibition, and it's been great to see her kind of look around, reflect on her career, and every time we look at another garment there's another story which comes out about how she wore it or the design or how it was styled, which has been really great.
What is also on display are the two outfits where the Streatham-born supermodel brought her trademark style to less than stylish moments.
Viewers, coming up next, we will get you all the details of what exactly is happening with the NTA, because it has called off the UGC-NET examinations, and now there are protests being raised today at around 2 p.m. The SFI and the JNUSU will be protesting, calling for the NTA to step back and shut down, and also several calls for justice for the students. We will get you all the details on the other side.
In a landmark decision yesterday taken at the Union Cabinet Minister meeting, Team Modi 3.0 has decided to give 50% of MSP over the cost of production at 14 different Kharif crops this season. We will be back with the rolling coverage. Stay tuned with Republic TV.
चल हो जा शुरू
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे दिल झूमे देखो पतवारा हुआ रे दिल झूमे देखो पतवारा हुआ रे
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
Amity University has one of India's largest merit scholarship programs for brilliant students. Over 9,000 students with 90% plus in their 12th boards are currently at Amity, benefiting from the culture of academic excellence and focus on research and innovation. To be with like-minded students who want to be successful, apply at amity.edu/scholarships.
With over 1,12,718 startups igniting innovation, driving digital growth. Over 800 million internet users are bridging distances and strengthening bonds across the globe, making India the third largest digitalized country in the world, accounting for around 46% of the world's real-time digital transactions. To celebrate the makers and shakers behind Digital India and India's phenomenal digital yatra, Republic Business is delighted to bring its inaugural Republic Business Emerging Tech Awards.
चल हो जा शुरू
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे दिल झूमे देखो पतवारा हुआ रे दिल झूमे देखो पतवारा हुआ रे
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी
Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
Good morning to all our viewers watching Republic TV. I'm Kriti Mehta. We're live and breaking at 9 a.m. Big stories lined up for you in this bulletin, from the big success for the forces in the probe of the Riasi terror attack to the Renukaswamy murder case probe, all that and more. But first up, let's take a quick check of the headlines.
American Pistachio presents cracking news of the hour.
Center cancels UGC-NET examination, saying exam integrity was compromised. Big development in NEET scam. Student from Patna arrested over alleged link with Kingpin. In a mega boost for farmers, centers raises MSP on Kharif crops by 5 to 12.7%. As spine-chilling details emerge in Renukaswamy murder probe, Darshan's wife now under police radar. Big win for forces in Jammu and Kashmir. Terror associate who aided Riasi attack terrorists now arrested. From human finger in ice cream to snake in delivery box, uproar over consumer safety violation. For Jammu and Kashmir police, key aide of terrorists has been arrested. The aide in question, Hakim Din, was nabbed alive by forces and is an accused in the Riasi terror attack that claimed the lives of 9 pilgrims while injuring 33 others. And in the latest development, Jammu and Kashmir police have sought 14-day custody. Now, NIA also wants to question Hakim Din over his involvement. And joining us live on the story now is my colleague Gursimran, but he will be joining us shortly, viewers. Before that, let's tell you once again that it is a big development that's coming in the case. The NIA also now wants to question Hakim Din. He was the aide of the terrorists who helped them in carrying out the terror attack on the Hindu pilgrims who were returning from the Shiv Khori shrine in Jammu and Kashmir. And the incident, in fact, claimed the lives of 9 Hindu pilgrims and also injured 33 others. Now, along with the NIA, police, the NIA will also be looking to question this terror aide, Hakim Din, over his involvement in the terror attack. Now, Gursimran has joined us, viewers. Gursimran, a very good morning to you. Let's talk about the modus operandi of the terrorists and how the aid really helped the terrorists in carrying out this dastardly attack on the eve of the swearing-in of the Modi 3.0 government.
It was a foolproof, pre-planned attack that was carried out by the Pakistani terrorist. And Hakim Din, who is a local resident of the Rajouri districts of Jammu and Kashmir, which is a nearby district. He was the one who is the local mastermind of this attack, because he was the only local help who not only provided shelter to the terrorists, who not only provided the help to the terrorists, the food to the terrorists, but also helped them in carrying out the recce. Now he has been arrested in a big operation that was carried out by the Riasi police, a major success for the Riasi police, that within 10 days of the attack, they have one of the key person that was behind this terror attack, that helped the terrorist in execution of the attack and also was with the terrorist post the attack. So he's the person who knows who these Pakistani terrorists are, how is their modus operandi, how they contact their handlers across the border. He's the one who has every detail, and that's why he has been placed under arrest. Now we are told that in a short while from now, the senior officials of the Riasi police, including SSP Riasi, they will be questioning the accused, and he will be produced in the court, where Jammu and Kashmir police will be seeking a 14 days custody. Important to mention that during this custody, there will be multiple things that will be done. First, that Riasi police will be questioning him. Second, he will be taken to the spot for the spot recreation, the crime scene recreation. Third is the National Investigation Agency that has been handed over the case. That too will be taken care by the National Investigation Agency, as he will be questioned by the NIA about his whereabouts and also his forward and backward linkages. 6,000 rupees is the cash that he has received from the Pakistani terrorist in exchange of help he has extended to them. That currency has also been seized by the Riasi police, and now the investigation is on the serial number of those denominations of the notes that have been recovered from him will also be analyzed by the Jammu and Kashmir police. So all in all, a big success that is coming for Jammu and Kashmir police in the Riasi attack case, and we are getting to know that today it is going to be a really key developments in the case that are going to take place.
Well, thanks for giving our viewers those details, Gursimran, and joining us this morning on those in the bulletin. Meanwhile, viewers, let's move on and to the next big story that we are tracking from Karnataka. This is now a big lead that we are getting in connection to the Renukaswamy murder probe. Darshan and his gang are to be produced before the court today. All the 13 accused will be produced before magistrate court as their police custody ends, and cops are likely to only seek custody of accused who are further needed for spot inquest and interrogation. 118 substantial evidence have been seized from spot inquests conducted across 28 locations in connection with the case so far. And now joining us live on the story is my colleague Prajwal from Bengaluru. Prajwal, a very good morning to you. Now talk to us about the importance of the evidence that has been seized so far, and how strong now is the case against Darshan for him to be implicated by the courts.
Good morning, Kriti. And the sort of evidence that has been seized has been categorized into physical evidence, technical evidence, as well as forensic evidence too, because it has been gathered from over 28 locations where spot inquest has been conducted, and it has also been gathered from the accused when it was found on their body as well. And also we are speaking about technical evidence in the form of CCTV footages that has been gathered all the way from Chitradurga to Bengaluru from the time Renukaswamy Renukaswamy was kidnapped from Chitradurga, and he was brought to Bengaluru as well, and also CCTV footages from the murder spot, CCTV footage from the place where the body was disposed of as well, which also captures the movement of actor Darshan from the murder spot and exiting, and later again coming back to the murder spot as well. And all of this has also been mentioned in the remand copy too. More of when we speak about the forensic science evidence which is coming into place, it mainly consists of blood stains as well, which was which was found at the back seat of a car which was used to dispose of the corpse of Renukaswamy, and also blood stains from the murder spot as well, which could go ahead and link to who the accused were to. And also wooden clubs have been seized which was used to beat up Renukaswamy, and a mega machine which was used to give electric shocks to him as well. So all of this has been taken in, and also there is medical evidence in the form of hair samples, DNA samples, blood samples, which has been collected from all the accused concerned.
All right, meanwhile, viewers, we have more details coming in connection to the case now. Now, top sources have informed that Darshan's wife, Vijay Lakshmi, is also under police radar after crucial evidence was found at her residence. Remand copy mentioned that seizing of Darshan's footwear, which was found at Vijay Lakshmi's flat in Bengaluru. Now, cops have questioned Vijay Lakshmi in respect to this, and also about how often would Darshan visit her. And let's also tell you, viewers, that Republic has also learned that focus of the investigation has shifted on murder spot at Patanagiri in Rajeshwari Nagar. They will record the statement of Jayanna, the owner of the plot in which the shed was built. Remember, viewers, Renukaswamy was brutally assaulted, tortured, and then murdered in this shed. Cops have also seized the DVRs and CCTV footage from the spot. Back to you, Prajwal. Talk to us about all these details that are now coming in.
Mainly when the focus rests on the murder spot at this point of time, Kriti, because the fact is that this particular incident after kidnapping Renukaswamy from Chitradurga to Bengaluru happened between 12:30 to 6:30 on the 8th of June as well. And therefore, he's been tortured by many people too. And we still need to go ahead and ascertain as to how many people out of the 17 accused were present in the shed when Renukaswamy was being beaten up brutally and was also being tortured. Secondly, out of the 7 CCTV footages that now we are looking at, only 2 CCTV footages were also functional, and therefore the entire CCTV footage has been taken in, and the cops in the remand copy have mentioned that from these particular CCTV footage there is valuable footage for 30 minutes which shows the entry and exit points of the accused dragging the victim along with them, and also the entry and exit of actors Darshan as well as Pavitra Gowda too, which could be very detrimental too. And also the shed owner, Pattangere Jayanna, he's the owner of the plot, and he had rented out this particular land to yet another person who had built the shed and was involved in a travels business which included seizing vehicles, and he was more of using this as a go down to bring in these seized vehicles too. So therefore his statement was recorded and asked whether he was in connection with any of the accused, and there have been some revelations that Jayanna is also the uncle of one of the accused, Vinay, who is a friend of actor Darshan. So all said and done, all of this has been coming to the light as well. And also the actor's wife Vijay Lakshmi was called in. She was interrogated yesterday, and this was mainly concerning the footwear which was found at her residence, and it was later learnt that Darshan's makeup man had gone ahead and given this footwear to Vijay Lakshmi, and after the cops asked whether she had any of the footwear, she stated that yes, she he did have it, and they came in and collected it, and after which a notice was issued to Vijay Lakshmi to appear for interrogation, and she was queried in further whether Darshan used to come often, and if he used to come, how often was it, and on the day of the crime, had he been to her residence in person, and had he spoken before or after this murder had taken place.
All right, viewers, thanks for giving us those details. Prajwal, for now, viewers, let's move on and tell you that with the back-to-back news breaks in the Renukaswamy murder case, top sources have also informed that Darshan's wife, Vijay Lakshmi, is also under police radar after crucial evidence was found at her residence. Remand copy mentioned the seizing of Darshan's footwear, which was found at Vijay Lakshmi's flat in Bengaluru. Cops questioned Vijay Lakshmi in respect to this and also about how often would Darshan visit her.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola, India's best 5G smartphone brand.
And with that, viewers, we're now getting in a quick news alert from Tamil Nadu, where more than 25 deaths were reported and several others were hospitalized after consuming illicit liquor in Tamil Nadu's Kalakurichy district. District Collector MS Prasad has warned that the death toll could rise. Meanwhile, Chief Minister M.K. Stalin and Governor R.N. Ravi expressed their condolences and concerns over the recurring issue of spurious liquor in the state. Let's move on, viewers. We're getting in a big news, breaking news coming in from West Bengal, where the Enforcement Directorate is conducting multi-location raids in connection to a cyber fraud case. Top businessman Ramesh Prasad's flat was raided. Furthermore, Manoj Dubey's residence has also been raided. The officials are on the lookout for his brother, now Suraj Dubey. Those are the visuals of the raids from West Bengal on your screens, viewers. Top businessman has been under ED radar. We will be trying to connect with our reporter to get more details on the story. But as of now, these are visuals from ED raids at the location of one businessman. Ramesh Prasad's flat has been raided and Manoj Dubey's residence has also been raided. The officials are now on the lookout for brother Suraj Dubey. And viewers, we are now joined by my colleague Kishle from the Bangla newsroom of Republic. Kishle, a very good morning to you. Now talk to us about these raids that are being held at the businessman, and what are the firms that he really owns, and why it has raids being conducted under his premises?
Well, exactly right now, breaking news coming in, ED activity in Kolkata since morning today, and this is especially in Howrah. ED raids in multiple locations across West Bengal is happening, but Howrah is the focus of the ED team, where we can see that they are raiding in a Delhi cyber fraud case. We are learning that fraud has been conducted over phones and over internet, and several people have been looted. Lakhs of monies have been looted. This is especially in a businessman's house. His name is Ramesh Prasad, and his flat is in Howrah and Belghoria as well. And there are several locations and properties in North 24 Parganas of the same businessman. Now the ED is raiding all these locations to understand exactly how the whole cyber fraud was conducted. And also we are learning from ED sources that this businessman had several companies registered under his name and not just one. And most of these companies were shell companies which did not exist actually. So all these shell companies and what activities were going on behind them and what amount of money, what amount of fraud has been done, what money has been collected from people through the internet, through this cyber fraud is what the ED is trying to understand, that the investigation is on. And as we speak, the ED teams are still now in these locations raiding this businessman's house. So preliminary, this information we are getting right now. Back to the studio.
All right, thanks for joining us and giving us those details, Kishle. Viewers, for now, let's move on and take a look at some of the other top stories that we're tracking for you from across the nation in Bharat in 2 minutes. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will visit Chennai today to participate in the inauguration of railway projects and other programs in the city. The Prime Minister will flag off the Chennai Nagarkoil Vande Bharat Express and lay the foundation stone for the train set maintenance. Prime Minister Modi will also visit Jammu and Kashmir today and tomorrow. He will lead the 10th International Yoga Day celebrations in Srinagar on June 21, addressing the gathering and participating in a yoga session. Today, Prime Minister Modi will attend the Empowering Youth Transforming Jammu and Kashmir event at the Sher-e Kashmir International Conference Centre. The budget for 2024-25 still is likely to be presented in Parliament in the second half of July. In addition to the consultations with the state finance ministers, Finance Minister Sitharaman is also likely to hold pre-budget discussions with industry chambers today. The central government announced a 5.35% hike in MSP for paddy, setting it at rupees 2,300 per quintal for the 2024-25 Kharif marketing season. The government also recommended the highest absolute increase in MSP for all seeds and pulses, with Nijjar seed up by rupees 983 per quintal, Sismam by rupees 632 per quintal, and Tur or Ahar dal by rupees 550 per quintal. National Testing Agency announced cancellation of the UGC-NET examination following prima facie indications that integrity of the exam were compromised. To ensure the highest level of transparency and sanctity of the exam, the Ministry of Education in the Government of India has decided that the UGC-NET June 24 exam be cancelled. At least 7 inmates sustained injuries after a gas cylinder blast occurred inside Kupwara jail in Jammu and Kashmir. The blast took place in the kitchen of the district jail in North Kashmir. The injured were rushed to a local hospital for treatment.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola, India's best 5G smartphone brand.
And viewers, we're getting in a quick news alert for you from Yemen, where Houthi rebels released a video showing their attack on the Greek-owned ship Tutor, which sank in the Red Sea. The attack, confirmed by UK's maritime trade operations, marks an escalation in Houthi attacks on shipping amid the Israel-Hamas war. The incident has resulted in the death of a Filipino crew member. And moving on, viewers, now Gautam Adani, the chairman of the Adani Group, highlighted the transformative impact of infrastructure development on India's future during the CRISIL event in Mumbai. In his address, he emphasized on the importance of governance in driving this progress. Let's hear what he had to say.
India's infrastructure industries is undergoing a stunning change, the impact of which we will be able to appreciate fully when we look back a decade later. We have kick-started an infrastructure capex cycle. If the period between 1991 and 2014 was about putting down the foundation and building the runway, the period from 2014 to 2024 has been about the aircraft taking off.
Well, it's time now for a very quick break on this bulletin. Viewers, we're tracking big news stories. Uproar over consumer safety after fingernail found in ice cream and frog in a vapor fuzz packet. Also coming up in a mega boost for the farmers, Centre raises MSP on Kharif crops by 5 to 12.7%.
Powered by Vimal, Polo Zuban Kesari.
Co-powered by Simpolo. Tile ho to Simpolo.
चल हो जा शुरू
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे दिल झूमे देखो पतवारा हुआ रे दिल झूमे देखो पतवारा हुआ रे
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी
With over 1,12,718 startups igniting innovation, driving digital growth. Over 800 million internet users are bridging distances and strengthening bonds across the globe, making India the third largest digitalized country in the world, accounting for around 46% of the world's real-time digital transactions. To celebrate the makers and shakers behind Digital India and India's phenomenal digital yatra, Republic Business is delighted to bring its inaugural Republic Business Emerging Tech Awards.
चल हो जा शुरू
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे दिल झूमे देखो पतवारा हुआ रे दिल झूमे देखो पतवारा हुआ रे
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी
I understand that there is an agreement to observe a moment of silence in memory of Hardeep Singh Nijjar, assassinated in Surrey, British Columbia, 1 year ago today. I now invite honourable members to rise.
Argentina puts the finishes touches to their game plan out on the practice field ahead of their opening game of the 2024 Copa America against Canada. Lionel Messi took part in Argentina's last training session before La Albiceleste take to the field at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. Croatia and Albania drew 2-2 in an intense battle at Euro 2024, a result that could make it difficult for both teams to survive the group stage. In the first ever competitive match between the two Balkan teams, Croatia tried to set the pace from the start, but it was Albania's Kasim Lasi who scored first, heading in a cross from the right flank in the 11th minute. Andrej Kramaric equalized about half an hour into the second half, and an own goal by Klaus Jasula made it 2-1 for Croatia just 2 minutes later. Opener Quinton de Kock hit a blazing half-century and shared a 110-run partnership with skipper Aydin Markram as South Africa defeated the USA by 18 runs in their opening T20 World Cup Super 8 match. De Kock smashed 74 of 40 deliveries, while Markram hit a 32-ball 46 as the Proteas made a solid 194 for 4 in 20 overs. USA's opener Andres Goose gave the Proteas the jitters with his audacious stroke play, but his unbeaten 80 of 47 balls went in vain. He was ably supported by Harmeet Singh, who contributed 38 runs.
BJP to hold a massive protest rally out here in Karnataka, going ahead and demanding that the fuel prices should be rolled back as well. And the protest rally will be shortly held, which will be led by the BJP state president, B.Y. Vijayendra.
चल हो जा शुरू
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे दिल झूमे देखो पतवारा हुआ रे दिल झूमे देखो पतवारा हुआ रे
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी
Amity University has one of India's largest merit scholarship programs for brilliant students. Over 9,000 students with 90% plus in their 12th boards are currently at Amity, benefiting from the culture of academic excellence and focus on research and innovation. To be with like-minded students who want to be successful, apply at amity.edu/scholarships.
With over 1,12,718 startups igniting innovation, driving digital growth. Over 800 million internet users are bridging distances and strengthening bonds across the globe, making India the third largest digitalized country in the world, accounting for around 46% of the world's real-time digital transactions. To celebrate the makers and shakers behind Digital India and India's phenomenal digital yatra, Republic Business is delighted to bring its inaugural Republic Business Emerging Tech Awards.
चल हो जा शुरू
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे दिल झूमे देखो पतवारा हुआ रे दिल झूमे देखो पतवारा हुआ रे
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी
It's 9:30. I'm Samiksha Srivastava. One of our top focus stories is the Renukaswamy murder probe and also the cancellation of UGC-NET exam. We'll be tracking that and much more. First, the headlines.
American Pistachio presents cracking news of the hour.
Centre cancels UGC-NET examination, saying exam integrity was compromised. Big development in NEET scam. Student from Patna arrested over alleged links with the kingpin. In a mega boost for the farmers, Centre now raises MSP on Kharif crops by 5 to 12.7%. As spine-chilling details emerge in Renukaswamy murder probe, Darshan's wife now under police radar. Big win for forces in J&K. Terror associate who aided Riasi attack terrorists now arrested. From human finger in ice cream to snake in delivery box, uproar over consumer safety violation on the rise. And we start
first up with a top business story that we are tracking at 9:30. This is the news that's coming in where we are tracking the top story in our business segment, and a bit to reduce the logistics cost. The government of India has now approved $9 billion to develop deep water port known as Vadhavan. How this deep port water will change the way trade is facilitated from India and how it could be a game changer is something that is going to be taken up. To know more about this, let's go across to Rajat, who's joining us live right now. Rajat, give us details of this the fund that's been released essentially by the government, which amounts to $9 billion to develop deep water port, which is also known as Vadhavan.
Yes, Samiksha, you are right. So yesterday, amongst the raft of and slew of various policy measures announced by the government after the cabinet meet, one amongst them, which is the biggest as far as the focus of Prime Minister Narendra Modi in reducing the logistic cost is concerned, the government has approved $9 billion for developing greenfield deep water port in Palghar district of Bombay in Taluka Dhanu. So this port is a greenfield deep water port which is going to be constructed in next few years, and this will be the first deep water port which will also pave the way for connecting Asia to the European countries. And if I talk about the cumulative capacity of this port, the project will create a cumulative capacity of 298 million metric tons per annum, including around 23.2 million 20-foot equivalent of containers. This port will be able to handle the mega vessels like the big ships and the vessels, and also there will be a separate terminal for automobile, for various automobile and various other commodities. So it would be a big port, and it's done with an intent to reduce the logistic cost, which is the top focus for the BJP government ever since Prime Minister Narendra Modi has taken over, and he has also talked about reducing the logistic cost from the various platforms. Also, this will be constructed by a joint venture between Jawaharlal Nehru Port and Mumbai Maritime Board. The stake will be, as per Jawaharlal Nehru Port, will have 74% stake, and Maharashtra Maritime Board will have 26% stake. Also, we need to understand this is coming after India took over operations of Chabahar as a first port. So what we can draw out of this step, the big step for reducing logistic costs, Samiksha, is that the government is going big on infrastructure and as far as connectivity is concerned, and the whole point and whole focus is on reducing the logistic cost. And with this $9 billion project, deep water greenfield port is going to be developed in Dhanu Taluka in Palghar district of Maharashtra, Samiksha.
All right, Rajat, thank you for breaking it down for us. Also to tell our viewers, the whole story can also be read on Republic Business website. And for now, let's move on to more news break coming in. This one from J&K, where key aide of terrorists has been arrested. The aide in question, Hakim Din, was nabbed alive by forces and is an accused in the Riasi terror attack that claimed lives of 9 pilgrims a few days ago. So it's a big breakthrough in the Riasi terror attack as a terror associate has been nabbed. We understand that 150 have been detained in this case. This comes in the backdrop of J&K police seeking 14-day custody of Hakim Din. So the National Investigation Agency also wants to question Hakim Din over his involvement in these terror attacks. This in the backdrop of the back-to-back 4 terror attacks which have happened in the valley in the last few weeks. Let's go across to Gursimran. He's joining us with the details on that. Gursimran, it is, of course, a big breakthrough as the forces are going all out to avenge the terror attacks in the valley. What do we know about this terror aide who's been arrested, the terror associate, and also those who've been detained for questioning for their alleged role in the terror attacks?
Yeah, good morning, Samiksha. And right now we are in Riasi. We have SSP Riasi who will be sharing more details with us. SSP Riasi Mohit Sharma with me. Madam, a big success coming to the Riasi police team. You have managed to get the local mastermind who helped in orchestrating this entire plot, Hakim Din. What are the details that you can share with us for now?
Hakim Din is a person who is arrested from Bandrahi area of Rajouri district, and as per his initial interrogation, he is telling about 3 militants who came to his place. He harbored them, he gave them food and even acted as a guide for them. On the day of that incident, he was there with them. He waited till the firing stopped and then he further helped them in escaping.
All these terrorists were Pakistani terrorists?
They were all Pakistani terrorists.
We got to know that the Pakistani terrorists are equipped with the sophisticated weapons. So what kind of weapons these terrorists were carrying with them?
He's talking about AK-47 and M4.
So what is the investigation hinting towards? Is that they were communicating with their handlers across the border? What has surfaced so far?
He has been able to identify ultraset kind of a thing because he told us that there was an antenna sort of a thing attached to a big fat phone which he was able to identify when we showed him the pictures.
So can we say that they were using a YSMS kind of a module to communicate across the border?
Yes, we can.
So at present, if we speak, how many areas are under cordon in the Riasi districts where the anti-terror operations are underway?
All my subdivisions, I can say more or less, they are under cordon, be it Mahor, Arnas, Ransu, Pune area and even Katra.
You have two important shrines, Shri Mata Vaishno Devi Shrine and Shiv Khodi Shrine. Both are under threat because the no-go zone has been breached. In 2021 it was Katra, now in 2024 it is Shiv Khodi. How the security arrangements have been made?
We are all on high alert, be it the army, be it the CAPF or the district police, and we have our search parties, we have cordoned the area, and there has been a slight change of schedule as far as the escorting the Yatri buses are concerned. We are now escorting them till a particular point after the VRs.
Now one more question. Has there been any additional deployment of the forces keeping in view the recent incident?
Yes, there has been. We have got a few CAPF COIs.
So how the anti-terror grid is now being strengthened, because we saw the Director General of Police saying that New Delhi has given clear indications that go purchase as much as the sophisticated weapons you can, but needs to ensure that these terrorists are wiped out.
Yes, these are the directions that we have got from DGP JNK, and we are working on it.
Last question will be, ma'am, what will be the message to the pilgrims, because this kind of incident, this creates a sense of fear among those coming for the pilgrimage?
I'd say that the pilgrims have should not be having any fear for coming to the shrines. We have fully secured them, and they can come as the way they used to do.
The terrorists seems like they are having a free run. What will be your message to them?
They will either be neutralized or they will be arrested alive. Only two options they have.
Can we expect that in days to come this will happen?
I hope so.
So this was SSP Riasi Mohita Sharma saying that the intensified anti-terror operations are underway in every subdivision of the Riasi district, and there are only two options left to the terrorists. Either they will be arrested or will be neutralized. Samiksha.
Yes, Gursimran, thank you for the moment. So as Gursimran is telling us, our security grid has also been heightened, especially ahead of the Amarnath Yatra that begins in just days from now. And
hello, Moto.
Motorola, India's best 5G smartphone brand.
Let's put out these visuals coming in from Maharashtra's Palghar. This is the news that's coming in from Palghar, where a bridge has been bridge has collapsed. Railway tracks have been waterlogged. The contact between Palghar and Monarwada has been disrupted as a result of the bridge being damaged. So the visuals that show the intensity of the damage that has been done as a result of the incessant rainfall in this area. This is the Palghar region of Maharashtra, where the damaged bridge can be seen. It has resulted in loss of connectivity between two regions at this in this location. And on that note, let's get you a quick roundup of other news that we are tracking in brief from across the country. Prime Minister Modi to visit Chennai today to participate in the inauguration of railway projects and other programs slated in the city. Prime Minister Modi will flag off the Chennai Magarkoil Vande Bharat Express and lay foundation stone for the train set maintenance. Prime Minister Modi will visit Jammu and Kashmir today and tomorrow. He will lead the 10th International Yoga Day celebrations in Srinagar on 21st of June, addressing the gathering and participation in a yoga session Today, the Prime Minister will attend the Empowering Youth Transforming J&K event at the Sher-e-Kashmir International Conference Centre. Budget for 2024-25 fiscal is likely to be presented in Parliament in the second half of July. In addition to the consultations with the State Finance Ministers, FM Sitharaman is also likely to hold pre-budget discussions with India Inc. leaders today. The central government has announced a 5.3% increase in MSP for paddy, setting it at 2,300 per quintal for the 2024-25 Kharif marketing season. The government has also recommended the highest absolute increase in MSP for oilseeds and pulses, with the prices at 983 per quintal, sesame at 632 per quintal, and sesame at 632 per quintal, and other pulses by 550 rupees per quintal. The National Testing Agency has announced cancellation of the UGC-NET examination following prima facie indications that integrity of exam has been compromised. To ensure highest level of transparency and sanctity of the examination process, the Ministry of Education has decided that UGC-NET would be cancelled and that the CBI is going to probe the alleged irregularities. In news from Kupwara, where at least 7 inmates sustained injuries after a gas cylinder blast occurred inside Kupwara jail. In J&K, the blast took place in the kitchen of the district jail in North Kashmir. The injured have been rushed to a local hospital for treatment. And for now, we head into a very short break. But when we come back, we'll get you chilling details in Renukaswamy murder case. As back-to-back leads are coming in, we are getting to know the details of the gruesome, the grotesque murder of Renukaswamy on 7th of June. From human finger and ice cream to snake in delivery box, uproar over consumer safety violations.
चल हो जा शुरू
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे दिल झूमे देखो पतवारा हुआ रे दिल झूमे देखो पतवारा हुआ रे
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी
ऐ भारत हम चल पड़े किस जुनू किस शान से जन्नत नुमा कश्मीर से आसाम के बागान से महाराष्ट्र से गुजरात से कर्नाटक से राजस्थान से तब हिंदुस्तान मिले हिंदुस्तान से
JK टायर देश का टायर
With over 1,12,718 startups igniting innovation, driving digital growth, over 800 million internet users are bridging distances and strengthening bonds across the globe, making India the third largest digitalized country in the world, accounting for around 46% of the world's real-time digital transactions. To celebrate the makers and shakers behind Digital India and India's phenomenal digital yatra, Republic Business is delighted to bring its inaugural Republic Business Emerging Tech Awards.
चल हो जा शुरू
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे दिल झूमे देखो पतवारा हुआ रे दिल झूमे देखो पतवारा हुआ रे
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी
另外，我们也感谢美国，进行对台军售啊。除了美国对台军售以外，其实美国的政府跟国会。
And let's move on to news that's coming in from Tamil Nadu's Kalakuruchi, where there is an unfortunate incident that's been reported. At least 25 lives have been lost after these people consumed illicit liquor or spurious liquor in the state that has claimed lives of at least 25 people. Investigation has been ordered. In fact, the district collector of the region has warned that the death toll could rise further. And Chief Minister M.K. Stalin, as well as Governor of the state, have expressed condolences for the loss of lives. Let's go across to Ashwin. He's joining us with the details on that. Ashwin, very unfortunate that 25 lives have been lost. But talk to us about the probe that's been initiated when we talk about this particular incident.
Samiksha, the numbers are constantly rising. The latest update by the district collector is now 29. This is a very unfortunate incident that has happened in Tamil Nadu at Kalakurchi district. What we are getting so far is that the government, the enforcement have so far seized around 2,000 liters of illicit liquor. Meanwhile, Chief Minister M.K. Stalin has stated that there will be an investigation on it, and everybody who is responsible will be dealt with the iron fist. In fact, the government will be today facing the assembly has already begun today in Tamil Nadu, and it is likely that the opposition will corner the DMK government over this issue, where 29 lives have so far been lost. Some reports are also saying from our local sources, from our reporters in Kalakurchi, they have said the numbers are rising, and the unofficial number is now at 34, which includes one woman and one transgender as well. So seriously, a big tragedy has come out in Tamil Nadu, and it is not something new, Samiksha. There has been constant huge tragedies that has happened. For instance, last year there was a similar tragedy that took place in Tamil Nadu at Villipuram and Chengalpattu, where 22 lives have been lost. So the BJP state president Anna Malai has also hit out against the DMK government for his careless attitude towards ensuring that people are involving in making illicit liquor, and the government is not doing anything about it. He's in fact come forward to state that the DMK government is squarely responsible for such a situation on the ground. The numbers are constantly rising. There are about 50 people who have been treated in multiple hospitals across Tamil Nadu, in Kalakurchi district, in Salem, as well as in Puducherry at Jibmar as well. Some of them are said to be critical. If things go drastically wrong, these numbers could go as high as 50, which makes it a very imminent tragedy, and the government will have a lot to answer.
Yes, Ashwin, thank you for the moment. So Ashwin giving us important details that the death toll could rise to as much as 50. For now, the death toll stands at 29. Let's move on to the other international news that we are tracking. This one that's coming in on the Houthi rebels. Yemen's Houthi rebels who've now released a video that showcases their attack on Greek-owned ship which sank in the Red Sea a few days ago. The attack has been confirmed by UK's maritime trade operations as well, which marks an escalation in Houthi assaults on shipping amid Israel-Hamas war that rages on. In fact, the incident even resulted in death of a Filipino crew member. Getting you the details in this report.
Yemen's Houthi rebels released a video showing their latest attack that sank the Greek-owned transport ship, the Liberian-flagged Tutor, in the Red Sea. The footage depicts two large explosions on the bulk carrier, which sank days after the attack, as confirmed by the UK's Maritime Trade Operations Centre. This marks an escalation in the Houthis' campaign against shipping in the Red Sea amid the Israel-Hamas war. The Tutor, attacked by a bomb-laden Houthi drone about a week ago, lost a Filipino crew member in the incident. The Houthis claim that their attacks target vessels linked to Israel, the US or Britain, but many affected ships have no direct ties to the conflict. This is the second ship the Houthis have sunk, contributing to over 60 attacks that have killed 4 sailors.
And here's a quick look at other top stories from across the globe. Moderate Iranian presidential candidate Masoud Peshchian has held his biggest campaign meeting yet in the capital city of Tehran. He is a surgeon and a member of parliament and is backed by the country's reformists and moderates, including former Foreign Minister Mohammad Javad Zarif, who attended Wednesday's rally as well, negotiated a historic nuclear deal with world powers in 2015, which fell apart after the former president of the US withdrew from in 2018. Louisiana has mandated the display of the 10 commandments in all public school classrooms under a new law that was signed by Republican Governor Jeff Landry. The measure, which required large readable posters, is facing constitutional challenges from opponents, while supporters claim its historical significance as well. Note that while opponents question the law's constitutionality and even vowed to challenge it in court, proponents said that the measure is not solely religious, but that it has historical significance as well. Yemen's Houthi rebels released video purporting to show their attack, which sank a Greek-owned transport ship in the Red Sea. The video shows two large explosions on bulk carrier at sea. The Liberian flagged cutter vessel sank days after being attacked by the Houthi rebels. The UK military maritime trade confirmed the involvement of the Houthi rebels as well. The sinking of the vessel appears to be a new escalation by the Iranian-backed Houthis in their campaign of attacks on ships in vital maritime corridor, which is the Red Sea area. A defense exhibition in the Russian port city of Krondatsk opened with a military flyover and sailors marching in formation as exhibitors gathered to showcase the latest in naval weapons and technology. International guests, which included military officials from other countries, showed their exhibits, received information about different equipment, which included models for ships and small aircraft as well. The United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, Filipino Grandi, has urged all nations to do everything possible to stop conflict in Sudan during a visit to the war-torn country. Grandi visited refugee camps and displacement centers in Kosti in Sudan's White Nile state, where over 1 million people have sought shelter since the fighting started. Grandi even said that in wake of the conflict, many civilians were trapped in conflict flashpoints, unable to flee for safety elsewhere. And for now, we will head into a very short break. But when we come back on Live and Breaking, a lot lined up for you. In the next edition, we are tracking the latest on the cancellation of UGC-NET examination by the ministry, the Education Ministry, CBI to take over probe into NET exam. Also tracking the latest on the NEET scam irregularities. It's the student kingpin link which is now in focus. It's MSP Bonanza for the farmers. We'll break down the MSP hike by the centre after a very short break.
चल हो जा शुरू
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे दिल झूमे देखो पतवारा हुआ रे दिल झूमे देखो पतवारा हुआ रे
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी
Amity University has one of India's largest merit scholarship programs for brilliant students. Over 9,000 students with 90% plus in their 12th boards are currently at Amity, benefiting from the culture of academic excellence and focus on research and innovation. To be with like-minded students who want to be successful, apply at amity.edu/scholarships.
With over 1,12,718 startups igniting innovation, driving digital growth. Over 800 million internet users are bridging distances and strengthening bonds across the globe, making India the third largest digitalized country in the world, accounting for around 46% of the world's real-time digital transactions. To celebrate the makers and shakers behind Digital India and India's phenomenal digital yatra, Republic Business is delighted to bring its inaugural Republic Business Emerging Tech Awards.
चल हो जा शुरू
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे दिल झूमे देखो पतवारा हुआ रे दिल झूमे देखो पतवारा हुआ रे
हर पल